Based.
Year of the Tiger 2022 Big things happening.
Once. Who the fuck is Varn? If Varn has less than 8,000 subscribers, I'm banning you from my chat. Someone with 300 subscribers was talking shit about you, Haz. What does that say about you? That you're watching them. You're one of their only viewers. You are one of their only viewers. What does that say about you? Literally shut the fuck up and stop exposing yourself. Haz, some guy on TikTok said this about capitalism. I don't give a fuck. Haz. Someone said this on TikTok about communism. You should debunk them. Debunk them, Haz. And that's how I know you're in high school. That's how I know you're in high school, by the way. That's how you give away your age, and I ban you. No minors allowed. A very big cancelable rant is incoming, by the way. I'm gonna go on a huge rant. When I'm done eating, I'm going on a huge cancelable rant. Huge rant. Because I got shit on my mind. Couldn't shave today because I don't have an... I'm going to talk about my shitty day today. I'll talk about my shitty day.
and moons.
I don't know what this tigers and moon shit means, but I'm pretty sure it's a matriarchal conspiracy. I'm pretty sure every time I see tigers and moons, it's like the Freemasons of infrared. I don't know what that shit means, but I'm gonna steer clear of it. My day was shit. I'm gonna explain why it was a shitty fucking satanic cursed day. Damn. Because of last night. You know what really grinds my gears? When motherfuckers say shit like, that's just how the cookie crumbles. What cookie, motherfucker? What cookie? And I don't know if I'm getting obese or something, but that shit makes me hungry. Making me thinking about cookies and shit, man. Let me have a fucking cookie, man. I could use a cookie. You know, this is satanic music. You know, Enya is a pagan, deep-seated in the occult, and she wants to revive the pagan religions of Europe and use them against Christianity. So why do I listen to her music, you ask? Because its evil reminds me of good. I walk with darkness. I dwell with darkness to remind myself of good. Not a saint. I've never been a saint. I've never been a saint. I'm not a saint. I'm gonna fight through this world. This fallen world. You understand? This fallen world. This fallen stuff. Thank you, Monkey. Appreciate you, Monkey. How you doing, Monkey? Been a long time since those Royale days. I'm thinking the Royales are dead. What do you think? I don't know. I ain't heard shit about those Royales in a minute. I don't know what's going on with those Royales. But it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame those Royales had to come to an end, you know? But that's okay. We ain't gonna be able to warn nobody about that gas station, dude. 89 special. My nose is big, motherfucker. My nose is big. So what? So what? So what? I'd rather have a big ass nose. Thank you, Void Burn. Appreciate you. I'd rather have a big ass nose than have a goddamn cute little button nose. What am I? A goddamn small poodle? I'm short. Shut the fuck up, bitch. I'm literally 1 inch from the national average. Sue me. I'm 1 inch from the national average. 5'8" on the dot, motherfucker. We measured ourselves on stream, bitch. Where's that shit at, man? Where's that shit at? Proof. We got proof, motherfucker. And look at that. Proof. We got proof. And, you know, my shit kind of lacking because I've been eating pizza. Whatever. Gonna go to the gym for a second time tonight when I'm done. We proved it, motherfucker. And also, I just got out the shower and I measured myself. I measured myself another time in the shower. And this is what I got in the shower. And guess what I measured, bitch? Guess what I measured, bitch? That's what I got. Hey, you know, what do you think I measured? What do you think I measured? Of course, my forearm minus my wrist. What did you think? Fucking perverts. I measured my forearm and just discounted the wrist. That's what I got. Motherfucker, my titties big, huh? Can you do this? Can you do this? Rock solid, motherfucker. Rock solid. What do you got on me? What do you got on me? The only thing you got on me is I'm balding. So, sue me, I'm balding. What do you want from me? That's the only thing y'all got on me. Alright, I'm keeping it more professional. I'm keeping shit professional. I'm keeping it professional. Remember what I said yesterday? We're gonna professional. Keeping it professional. You understand? What if I told you we're ruled by paganism? Volk with the 50. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Can I tell you guys we're ruled by pagans? Or is that too late? Or are you not ready for that? Are you not ready for that? Like, I'm not just talking about... I'm talking about every movie you watch, every video game you play, every music you listen to. Everything around us in our society is teaching us that paganism is good, and in America, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism are bad. All media is telling us Christianity, Islam, Judaism, they're telling us that those are bad, and that paganism is good. Notice it. Notice the pattern. They're celebrating the witches from the Salem witch trial. Hell, them damn witches. Those damn witches in communion with Satan. Am I allowed to say on Twitch that the Salem witch trials may have been correct? Or I'm not allowed to say that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But hypothetically in a video game, all I'm saying is it's not very good to have people with satanic magic running amok in our society. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, to be honest. I don't sleep with holy women. I only sleep with satanic women. And why? Because opposites attract. I don't know what to tell you. Alright, we're good. I'm gonna go on a very cancelable rant today. We're gonna transition into a very cancelable rant. I'm ready to get shipped, clipped, and shipped and go viral. I kind of need the attention. I'm just kidding. I do want to go on a cancelable rant right now though, because I was thinking about it in the shower. I was thinking about it in the shower. So I'm gonna just lay it on you, and then I'm gonna explain myself. But first, I'm gonna lay it on you. The problem with communism in America is that it's not patriarchal. We need a communist patriarchy. Go ahead, I'm not trolling. I'm not trolling. We need a communist patriarchy. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll go ahead and explain, but I want some time for it to be clipped and shipped on Twitter before I explain myself. I want it to go viral on Twitter first. Bro, I'm not giving you my address, Arthur. I heard Ahmad told me that you wanted to send me some shit. Bro, I'm not giving you my address, okay? I don't know if you're a Ted Kaczynski. I don't know what's going on. I don't trust that. Motherfucker living in the wilderness for 12 weeks. I'm not giving you my fucking mailing address, motherfucker. I don't trust that shit. That's the same shit that Ted Kaczynski guy did. I'm not gonna let you mail me shit, motherfucker. Anyway, we're gonna continue. What do I mean by patriarchy? Well, I want to give you an idea of the American leftist and so-called communist community in the U.S. and also beyond the U.S. This is what's emerging in Russia and in Eastern European countries, and it's emerging in England. It's emerging elsewhere. The crisis we're facing is that communism lacks a patriarchal foundation. So what do I mean by that? In fact, a lot of people sometimes ask me, Haas, why is your community mostly male? Why isn't it 50% women, 50% male? You know what I say? That ain't my fucking problem. I don't think I want us to be 50-50 at this stage. I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I'd welcome it. I wouldn't try to clamp down on it. I just don't think it would be a good sign. And I'll tell you why I don't think it's a good sign. And this is very cancelable, very forbidden, very dark, esoteric knowledge. I think a good proportion is 70-30 or 80-20. We're not even there yet. We're 95-5. But 50-50? Nah, not at this stage. Now, if we ever got to be a huge mass movement of millions and millions of people, yeah, 50-50, it's not bad, right? At a level of a party, political party, 50-50 is good, right? It's good for a party, but for this shit, I'll explain it to you. I don't know why I'm doing this either, because it's literally been like months since I've been accused of being like a misogynist and an incel and all that kind of shit. And I'm just kind of like making it worse for myself. And you know why? Because I feel like it. I'm bringing it back. I just feel like getting canceled again, you know? Anyway. I want to give this a little some time to clip it and ship it and stuff for it to go viral, and then people will like be shocked and they'll come and see what I mean, and then I'm gonna explain it right now, right? First thing I want to tell you guys, and don't fucking sit here and just think I'm saying shit. So listen to me when I tell you this and think about it, motherfuckers. In the USA, every little communist discord, every little movement, every little organization, the Maoists, whatever, MLs, you know what they are from a Freudian perspective, from a psychoanalytic perspective? They are an association of runaway children. Runaway children who banded together, and that is why there's like, that's the extent of the sexual equality. It's not real sexual equality. Because with children, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, you're a fucking child, right? So that's a fake veneer of equality that they have. It's a fake veneer of equality, okay? It's not true women's empowerment or women's equality, anything like that. It's a community of children. Peter Pan Maoism. But specifically, it's the runaways of Netherlands. It's the runaway children. And their entire... Can someone link me the meme? And this will make sense of it. Where, like, first, it's comparing the tough doge of the Russian Civil War and the Paris Commune and the Maoists. And then it's like the pathetic Western communists of today. But then they have their hand on their shoulder like, don't worry, we got you this. We're in this together. Can someone please send me that meme? Do you know what meme I'm talking about? You guys have seen it, haven't you? Someone please link me that meme so I can put it on display. And that's what's gonna get this going, right? The Doge with the dog, yeah, with Doge the dog, and it's like it has the hand on the shoulders, like, don't worry, young whippersnapper, we got your back. You're only starting out, and you're gonna become a big revolutionary. Please link me that. I want to show you it, and I'm gonna explain to you why we need a communist. Why the problem with communism is lack of patriarchy right now. Just put it in the, put it anywhere. Someone give me that fucking meme. Give me that fucking meme. Hold on. Go ahead, grab me that meme. And no one got the meme, right? So, I don't know. Until... Why am I fucking coughing? Why is my throat so itchy? I don't know. No, Void Burn. It's not that one. It's like much longer, and at the end of it, it has the Doge on his shoulder saying, "Don't worry, you're just starting out. You're young. We got you. It's like words of encouragement. I don't have COVID because I've had this for like a week. Okay? It's since I got back to Michigan I've had it. It's because the weather or something. Allergies. So I'm not gonna be able to get the meme. The meme isn't here. I guess no one has the meme. That's a shame. Nobody's got the fucking meme. And that's fine. Okay. You found a tiny res version? Okay, just give me that one. Post it in the Discord. Go ahead and post it in the Discord. Alright, anyway, until then, I'm gonna explain to you what I mean by that and what's going on with that whole thing. You guys know those movies where the parents... I'm trying to think of what the movie was. I think it's Harry Potter. So something happens in Harry Potter where the headmasters and the teachers are like not doing the right thing. So the kids stand up and they form like an organization together. And then finally Dumbledore comes and he goes, "You young people, you have done such a good job doing what's right. When the adults failed, you stood up and did what's right." You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm... Oh, this is the one. This is exactly it. This is exactly the one. So I'll show it to you. Just making sure there's no penises in this. No penises. Is there a secret dick? Looking for secret dicks. Yeah, there's no secret dick. Okay, I'm gonna just... I don't think it's a dick at all. But I'm so paranoid, I'm not gonna risk it. Okay, so this is it. So these are all the tough guys in history, the real communists. Communists in 2020. We too used to be like you. And one day you will be like us. Our legacy lives in you, comrade. And this is like the shitty Antifa guy. And we all have left you the tools you need to finish the revolution and bring about the final victory of the world. So this is children, right? It's a community of runaway children. And specifically what we're talking about is the community of runaway children of the Democrats and the liberals, specifically after Trump got elected. The adults are letting us down, so we kids are gonna band together and do the right thing. So that's why you see this fake, like, oh yeah, we're feminist comrades and like we have women, we have men. Yeah, because you're children. You don't have this sexual equality of adults. That's something much harder to accomplish. You have the equality of boys and girls, which children and girls, they're not distinguishable. You're a boy, you're a girl. It's the same shit. You're a child, right? You're not an adult. Only when you're an adult does sexuality become relevant. Before you're an adult, you're either a child or you're an adolescent, but you're a child, right? You know, for the most part. You're a child, right? You're not an adult. That much can be certain, right? So it's almost like what we have is a version of Minions communism. Minions communism, where there's no, from a psychoanalytic perspective, the Oedipal complex is being forestalled. It's delayed development. It's Minions communism. That's what you see on Twitter. And by the way, that's how we would have a Discord of like 50% men, 50% women. Okay, it'd be like Minions communism. Alright guys, we're all cute here and we're just like in this androgynous kind of thing where it's like you're children basically, right? Now what makes this a problem specifically? Give me a sec. What makes this a problem? Why am I saying this is an issue, right? I'd have to explain some stuff about psychoanalysis first, so I'll explain it to you. In psychoanalysis, there's the term that Lacan comes up with, and the term is called the name of the father. And if you know anything about Shakespeare, you know about Hamlet. In Hamlet, the ghost of Hamlet's father comes and haunts him. And that's like a profound source of compulsion, right? When an enemy invades your country, it's the voice of the father that impels you to take up arms and defend your homeland, right? When Soviet soldiers were fighting the Germans, they would shout the name of the father. Who is the father? Stalin. The father Stalin, right? Because it's through the father that you defend the motherland, right? Father represents defense of everything sacred, everything prohibited, right? That's why the root word of both patriarchy and patriotism are the same. The patria, right? The patria, right? So, what do I really mean by patriarchal communism, right? That's what we're going to have a deep dive and explore a little bit, because I want to talk about this. First of all, Sohaz, are you against women fighting the patriarchy? No. I don't care if they want to fight the patriarchy or not. Because, what does that have to do with me? Nothing, right? All I will insist upon is the fact that there is not one patriarchy. So, when you're fighting the so-called patriarchy, you're fighting the patriarchy of the existing status quo in the existing American state. Well, no, we need our own patriarchy. And maybe you can fight our patriarchy, but we're not going to submit. We communist men are going to have this thing where we accept the manhood of those in power? No, we're our own fucking men. Okay? We have our own patriarchy. And if you want to talk about equality or whatever, you deal with it within ours, right? And that's actually how you get real respect between men and women. Is you have to first acknowledge you don't just deny all sexual realities and be like, we're minions and we're all the same and we're all so cute. You're children then. You're not actually subverting anything. You're still taking the father for granted. Your father's not my father. My father is Stalin. My father is Stalin. My father is Marx and Engels. Your father is Joe Biden. So when you rebel against your father, that's still your fucking daddy. That's still your fucking father. You understand? Do you guys understand where I'm getting at with this? Communism in America is specifically a group of children who have ran away from their parents and have decided to form a community together that simulates a society, that simulates politics, that simulates what the adults are doing, but never actually challenges or disturbs or replaces the patriarchal power of the society. Yes, like the Lost Boys of Peter Pan or Neverland. Communist LARPers and organizations in America merely try to replicate. They don't actually touch to the patriarchal source of what glues the society together. They are children making a make-believe society that's one big type of cute rebellion against the parents. Children do this all the time. They have a lemonade stand. They create alternative societies where there's a mayor and there's a police. Now you just up the scale a little bit, and then it's the same thing, but with just more resources and shit behind it, right? No, don't misunderstand me, because do communists believe in equal rights for women and respect and all that kind of stuff? Of course. But why must there be a communist patriarchy? I'm going to explain it to you. So these runaway children have ran away from their parents because they have been let down by their father, so to speak. Their proverbial father has let them down and has disappointed them. So, could a communist patriarch be a woman? Yes? I'll get to that. Potentially, yes. There's no reason for this not to be possible. Nothing here is directly literal. We're not actually talking about the rule of men for men's sake. We're talking about something much deeper. Like Rosa Luxemburg, she is a kind of patriarch. Felix Dzerzhinsky, the head of the Soviet Cheka, he had a photo of Rosa Luxemburg, who was a sacred name of the father for him and many other communists, hanging up in his office. Because when he thinks of Rosa, he thinks of the patriarch, the name of the father. Just don't beautify it and do it for its own sake. But yeah, of course it's possible. Why not? But when you do it for its own sake, and you start to take enjoyment of the fact that they're women, you're like, oh, and you think it's like subversive, then you're making it into a perversion, right? Smoke, that's not true. That's not true. Women don't even care about politics. That's not true. That's not true. Thank you, thank you, dictator. Women care about politics, but they have to maneuver the patriarchal stuff, right? So-called patriarchal stuff, to have a platform. Because it's true, we don't have an equal relation. Women are intimidated. They're don't have confidence and stuff, and so on and so on. So many need male validation in order to give voice to their opinion and their expression, and so on and so on. And of course, communists have a special way of fostering a different culture. But before you do that, you need a communist patriarchy. So what do I mean by communist patriarchy? Communism for these children, the students of Chairman Gonzalo, and these kind of people you're seeing on Twitter, who are Zoomers. They're Zoomers who are androgynous, completely have no regard for any kind of gender, sexual realities, completely foreclose the name of the father, and instead engage in what the French thinker Deleuze would call the jouissance, the enjoyment of partial drives. So, for example, within psychoanalysis, there's the kind of Oedipal drive that you get your jouissance from, which is based on a specific relationship between the subject and the father and the mother and so on, and this kind of triad, right? Whereas the jouissance of partial drives, which is celebrated by people like Deleuze and so on, is you derive this fundamental death drive enjoyment, the surplus enjoyment, psychic surplus enjoyment, if you will, from a kind of completely de-patriarchalized, de-Oedipalized reality, where there is no one father. There's a multiplicity of different objects, partial objects of enjoyment. You never latch on to one melodrama that defines you. So within a patriarchy, you have Hamlet, you have Shakespeare, you have the Greek tragedy, one confrontation, one story, one drama, right, that defines who you are. But with the what Deleuze will call the jouissance of partial drives, you never become too attached to one object to go through this drama. You have a multiplicity of partial enjoyments and so on and so on. never actually accomplishing this more fundamental confrontation of the subject. How does this become possible? In psychoanalysis, there's a term. I can't really explain to you all of psychoanalysis, so please bear with me. And if you kind of get what I'm saying here, that would be enough. All you have to do is kind of get it. You just have to kind of get it, right? You have to kind of get it, okay? There's something called the foreclosure of the signifier. So in psychoanalysis, very briefly, we have signifiers. Signifiers are not the same as signifieds. Signifieds are like the external objects, or the things that come to your mind when something is signified. A pure signifier, right, is the relation between, so it sounds like a word, like with language. So think of a word, right? Let's say I say the word communist. So the word communist has a signifier. Now when I say communist, you think of the signified, the concept or the image that corresponds to it. But behind this word communist lies a signifier. And this signifier represents the structure of our unconscious that leads to these signifieds. So when I say communist, there's something in my unconscious that makes it coherent and makes it sensible, right? So those is what signifier means. So a signifier is a relation between itself and all other signifiers. They're metonymic. So the signifier for communist is only ever going to be able to define itself through other signifiers. So there's a chain of signifiers, this chain of equivalences, right? If you have a signifier for an apple, right? What does it mean that it's metonymic? Well, what is an apple? In order to define an apple, you have to compare it to other things, right? So an apple is something that's going to be defined based on its relationship to other things. Apples are fruits. It's the whole thing of genus and classification. They're fruits. They're like bananas. So there's a chain of signifiers, and all of them just refer to themselves, to each other, right? You never get to a point where a signifier can merely refer to itself. It's always based on where it is in the entire chain of signifiers. And this entire chain of signifiers is something in psychoanalysis that's called the symbolic order, okay? Now, in the symbolic order, there's a master signifier. And what is this the signifier of? What does the master signifier signify? What is the signified that corresponds to it? Is it a specific image? Is it a specific signified? Is it a specific concept? No. The master signifier is the signifier of signification as such. The signifier of signification as such. The very signifier of the symbolic order itself, the whole order, which means the symbolic order is not something you take for granted. It's partial and determinate. It's human, right? It's not dwelling out there in cosmos. It's human. It's our humanity, right? So the master signifier is the signifier of signification. Okay? Signification itself. It is the one signifier in the entire chain of signifiers that refers only to signification as such. The very possibility of signification as such. It is their relationship to the master signifier, otherwise known as the phallus for Freud, or the name of the Father, that allows us to possess an adult relationship to the symbolic order. An adult shoulders the world of meaning independently. As an adult, this is a bottle of water. As an adult, this is a bottle of water, not because someone told me so, not because an authority said so of some kind, but because I have somehow made it intelligible as such myself. So if I have kids, I can explain to them how shit works, but I have this independent grounding of my reality, right? Yes, the master signifier, very good, yes. Expresses the meaning and order of all the other signifiers. But meaning is very important. This sounds like the Platonic good. It is the Platonic good. It is the Platonic good. The only difference is that the Platonic good confines itself to thought. But the master signifier is not just about thought or concepts. It's about the structure of our unconscious. And Plato has no room for an unconscious. He's a philosopher. So for Plato, it all begins with the idea, right? The idea. And the self-identity of the idea, right? So yes, it is the Platonic good. That's why for Plato is the most patriarchal philosopher in the history of mankind. Are you kidding? For Plato, comprehension of the good is something only the master can accomplish. Not just the patriarch, but the master, the Greek master who is not a slave, but the master of slaves, right? That's the master who wields the signifier. I mean, Lacan calls it the master signifier because it is the master of Plato. It's Plato's master who has an independent comprehension of the good. And that's the same thing as the patriarch, right? The father, the name of the father. The master requires the psychological framework of the unconscious mind to be conceived. No, you're overthinking it. Yeah, Peterson. Peterson is a Jungian. I'm a Lacanian. What's wrong with Jung? He's full of shit. So what does this have to do with the shit I was talking about with communism and the community of runaway children? That is what communists are in America today. Well, if it wasn't for the shit in my throat, I'd be able to tell you faster. So give me a second. In a event. So first of all, what separates a child? Thank you, Noble Woman. I completely missed your subs. Thank you for the 5. Missed that. Appreciate it. So what is it exactly that separates a child from an adult? Thank you, Johnny. In Lacan's framework. For Lacan, for Freud, it's a specific stage of the Oedipal complex, right? Where entrance into the symbolic order as such has not yet happened. So what does it mean to enter this symbolic order? Roy, shut the fuck up about Mongols and showering. Get the fuck out of my chat forever. Read the fucking room, you fucking idiot. Making me lose my train of thought. I hate dumbasses that just come in here and say shit. And that was a perma-ban, by the way. So don't fucking come in here and make me lose my fucking train of thought. Talking about dumb shit. Okay. Thank you, 1000. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So, before your entrance into the symbolic order, you have something called the imaginary order, which is the order of images. So for Lacan, when a child enters the world, the first form of meaning that's going to be that they're going to have to make sense of things and the world is going to lie in the image, the presence of the mother. The presence of the mother for whom you are the object of the other's desire, namely the desire of the mother. The mother loves you, she's taking care of you, rock my baby, on whatever the fuck, right? That's the imaginary order. Why? Because the imaginary order is strictly defined by the complete unity of the imaginary other, right? With you as a subject and as their object, right? So, but in the imaginary order, the mother's absence is what happens. You start crying and screaming and whatever. Why? Because in the mother's absence, you have what? Complete absence of any meaning. So it is the consistency of the mother's presence that attaches you to some kind of world of meaning, right? Now, entrance into the symbolic order happens, and this is Freud's Oedipal framework, which is not to be taken literally, when it becomes clear that the mother's desire is divided. The mother does not only desire you as the subject, she also seems to desire something beyond you. For Freud, that is her husband, which is the father. So, the child begins to view the father as being the reason why they do not have the full enjoyment. They don't have full jouissance. They don't have the full undivided desire of the mother. So that the father's stealing it from them somehow, right? So that's the beginning of the Oedipal conflict for Freud. The conflict of the Oedipal complex, right? The father is something the mother desires, not just you. So the object of the mother's desire is not just you, it's somewhere else. It's something else. Namely the father. Something else. Okay. So, entrance into the symbolic order happens when you have something called symbolic castration. And this castration, for Freud, is when the father, it's an experience of like this kind of metaphor of castration, where the father takes away from you your full jouissance, your full enjoyment, and forces you to possess some kind of lack in its stead. Before, the only lack you ever had was when your mother wasn't in the room. You had just pure lack, right? The father engages in this. The father initiates the symbolic castration through taking away your phallus, right? The phallus is what? The signifier of signification. You don't have full access to it. Full, undivided access to the phallus. Sorry, to the, you do not possess full, undivided access to the other. So you do not possess, you do not alone possess the phallus. Does the master signifier play a role in the bed? No, that's through Lacan, who introduces signifiers because of his introduction of semiotics to psychoanalysis. So before this, it's all Freud's direct, like literal interpretations. When Freud talks about father, he's talking about actual fathers. When Lacan talks about father, he's talking about the structure of language. So Lacan's a kind of structuralist or a post-structuralist, right? He's not talking literally about this stuff. Freud also doesn't only talk literally. Like when he says castration, he doesn't mean literal castration, but he's referring to myths to describe real phenomena. So, one enters the symbolic order when, having been deprived of their full jouissance, they begin to pursue their desire and acquire their jouissance in a partial way. The father prohibits you from fully having the mother, right? Fully having access to the mother. And this prohibition, this fundamental prohibition, defines your subjectivity in such a sense that you seek jouissance in another, right? This is another woman, basically, right? With that prohibition in mind, right? So this is the beginning of adulthood, more or less. That's the beginning of adulthood. That's the beginning of adulthood. Why? Because as a child, you have the imaginary order. In adulthood, you go through the symbolic castration, and eventually the symbolic castration becomes resolved when you recognize prohibition. This prohibition is somehow a key to your own necessity. So you become the father eventually, right? Because why is it the key to your necessity? Because your jouissance, your enjoyment, becomes structured in such a way that this prohibition becomes necessary. So this is what it means, the name of the Father. The name of the Father reminds you. To and why? Shut the fuck up. Matter of fact, motherfucker, come back in an hour or something. This shit is important. No, unban him. Unban him. Just time him out for like an hour or something. Okay? Here, I'll time you out for 30 minutes. There you go. I can't lose my train of thought. Okay? Anyway, as I was saying, fuck. There's too much to explain when it comes to psychoanalysis. It's literally so much to explain. Like, I didn't talk to you about how this fits within the world of meaning and language and signifiers and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm just going to say this to try and simplify it, okay? We don't have to go through psychoanalytic theory. We're just going to simplify it, okay? This so-called community of children accomplishes something called foreclosure of the signifier. And in the foreclosure of the signifier, what it means is basically what it sounds like. You foreclose the voice of the Father, the name of the Father, and the master signifier, this presence, this castrative presence, you foreclose it. You shut it off, right? And the specific mechanism by which foreclosure happens is by identifying in the name of the Father and in the phallus and in the master signifier some kind of imaginary form. So when you reduce the master signifier, let's say, for example, foreclosure is psychosis. It's the quintessential structure of this psych. A psychotic or a schizophrenic is understood through the mechanism, through the process of foreclosure for Lacan. Because the master signifier is reduced to being some kind of imaginary form. Okay? The name of the Father is not recognized as like something that is capable of castrating or jouissance, but something that's similar to the mother, right? It's just an imaginary presence that fails. So the name of the Father for the communists in America is what? This is so important, guys. Can you please sit the fuck down and listen? They have foreclosed the name of the Father, the communists in United States and Canada, as what? The conspiracy of capitalism and patriarchy and imperialism and racism and misogyny and transphobia and homophobia and bigotry. They have reduced this name of the Father to a bunch of like conspiracies, basically, right? So there's no name of the Father. Name of Father is always already defined with a set of intentions and subjectivity that is immediately transparent to the object. They think they know the Father, the name of the Father, because the Father is what? Imperialist, racist, sexist, transphobic, imperialist, indigenous phobic. What do they say? Whatever, right? The reason patriotic communism has struck such a nerve is because we represent embrace of the name of the Father and the master signifier in psychoanalytic terms. This is too high level for you guys. I swear to God, it's too high level. This is way too deep for you guys to fucking understand. And it's actually sad. This is like so high level shit. Okay. I feel bad for a lot of people, right? Who don't get it. But anyway. I'm going to just explain this to you in very practical, concrete terms. What then is communism for these people? Is communism a new signifier? No. Communism for them specifically is the structure of this. It's the imaginary form of this foreclosure. Communism is some kind of like Peter Pan that came from the netherworld. It's quite terrifying, actually. Communism is like this Peter Pan that came to them and said, oh, your father's mistreating you, your family's mistreating you, your country's mistreating you, then join with me and I will take you. Some kind of musical begins, basically. And you get to go to Netherland. And that's what communism represents for them. So this is all Peter Pan coming to rescue the scorned child and take them to Netherland. That's what this photo represents. Effectively. That's it's Harry Potter. What happened in Harry Potter? This boy, Harry Potter, he lived in the stairs. And he has a big fat father, big fat guy. He said, and he used to slap him around and shit and throw him, just beat him up and stuff. And he got out the belt and shit. He made him live in the stairs. And Harry Potter, oh, this poor boy, he's always persecuted. Dad is mean to me. Mom is mean to me. So what happened? Dumbledore descended from the sky, and I will take you to Hogwarts. Na 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 na, magical. This is the specific form of foreclosure. This is a specific form of psychosis. Foreclosure of the name of the Father. Foreclosure of the name of the Father. That's Harry Potter, right? You're a wizard, Harry. You're special in some kind of way. Replace this, Dumbledore. You're special. You join us to Netherland, and you could. This is horrible, horrifying psychosis. Horrifying psychosis. Communism represents an alien force, benevolent alien force. Benevolent alien force. Why must it be alien? Because if it's proximate, it's going to reintroduce you to the your Oedipal confrontation, right? So it has to be an alien abduction. It's almost like aliens abduct you, but they're benevolent, and that's what these people represent communism as: a benevolent alien abduction. Of course, every parent knows there is no such thing as a benevolent abduction. If you get abducted by aliens, you're gonna get probed. Now, you know my favorite, good movie, progressive movie is Pinocchio. Pinocchio is a good movie because Pinocchio teaches you this. You learn this in Pinocchio. You want an alien abduction to free you? Well, then you're gonna go to that island, you get turned into a donkey, and that island, by the way, is a metaphor for pedophilia. You're gonna get abused. And your parents warn you about that shit. Don't trust strangers. Don't trust alien abductions because they're going to use you for something. Nothing in this life is free. Nothing in this life is free. You understand? So we stand by the movie Pinocchio against Peter Pan and against Harry Potter. Because no one can replace your Oedipal confrontation. You must, like DSA is another fucking Hogwarts DSA but notice in this parable of the foreclosure of the signifier, it's never just children. There's always some old pedo too. Dumbledore is here. Some force of legitimation. That's super. It's like a grandfather force, an old guy. And unfortunately, they have blasphemed Marx as this. They have blasphemed Mao as this. Marx and Mao specifically. They see Mao as this Dumbledore guy. They see Mao the same way. Bernie's the perfect example. Bernie's the perfect. Hey guys, it's me, Bernie Sanders. Get on my candy truck. Get in my van. I got some free candy for you. It's me, Bernie Sanders. I got free candy. Would you trust that? That's weird. I don't trust that. I don't trust that shit. You shouldn't trust it either. His name is Bernie, okay? What else do you need to... It's weird. I'm sorry, but his name is Bernie. Now, I was behind Bernie's movement in 2016, but I didn't like that Bernie Sanders had to be the leader of it. I didn't like that his name was Bernie. It's weird. Why is his name Bernie? He could have had any other name, but he has the name of like some kind of... It reminds me of like Barney the dinosaur. Barney the dinosaur is actually the symbol of American communism right now. I love you, you love me. Leave your father and come with me and get in my van, 'cause I'm taking you to church. Liberation will come on earth. I can promise treats and candy. Barney loves you and your father doesn't, and I will take you. You will join with me, all the children happily. That's what it is. That's what it is. Tell me I'm wrong. That's what it is. That's what this shit is. That's what all these people calling themselves Maoists, they're all young Zoomers getting groomed in Discords. They're all young people in Discords getting groomed. Hee, we're all children. You know what it reminds me of? It's all children running around in their diaper. And they're trolling and shit. But at the end of the day, we're all children. This is no place for children. And that's why they have the so-called equality between genders and all between sexualities and all this shit, you know? Because they're children. When you're a child, none of that even matters. You haven't actually accomplished some kind of real equality between men and women. That's something only adult men, adult women can accomplish. Leftists have not accomplished this in the United States. They have adolescentized, infantilized, and deprived themselves, I should say, of their adult sexuation. They deprive you of your manhood. They deprive you of your womanhood, and you become a child who's on Bernie Sanders' candy train. And that's pedo shit. I'm sorry, but that's some pedo shit. That is complete pedo shit. No. Instead of this Barney the Dinosaur communism, we must have patriarchal communism. What is patriarchal communism? Patriarchal communism is communism rooted in the name of the father, rooted in the tradition, rooted in the sacred tradition even. Why do you think I have chosen the Communist Party USA of all parties? Because that is the patriarchal tradition. That's historical tradition. We must have our own prohibition. We must have our own new signifier, master signifier.
Napoleon_Bonaparte donated $5. Big agree on Bernie. I'm sick of people naming their children nicknames of what actual names are. Name your child Archibald, not Archie. Name your kid Amiro, not Ray. Name your kid Napoleon, not Leon.
I agree, because the name Bernie, I'm sorry, but if you name your child Bernie, that's honestly, yeah. That is brutal. Hold on. Some guy in my chat, he goes, Can we write that down somewhere? We need to fucking please, let's laminate that. Let's make it official. I don't know how to fucking do this. Bernie was Biden's child catcher. Holy shit. Holy shit. It was Biden. Bernie was Biden's child snatcher. I have to fucking make a thing of that because Bernie Sanders was Biden's child snatcher. We gotta, I'm making that official. That is so fucking true. This is what Bernie was. If you played this game, you would understand. This is exactly what Bernie was. This is exactly what Bernie was. 1000%. This is what he was. That was Bernie. Look, I don't. My good friend Joe Biden. Oh, come here, young one. I got some candy for you. That's another one for Biden. Come on, you want some free healthcare, free education? Come on. Free healthcare, free education for everybody. Free healthcare and education for everybody. Let's go. Let's go. We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh, okay. Want some free pot? Got some free pot for you. Oh, gummies. Come here. Oh, just a little closer. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Another one for Biden. Got another one for Biden. Okay, we're gonna get some more. Y'all, you want some free pot? Got some free pot for you. Come on, yeah? Come on. Vote Democrat. Get over here. Yeah, free pot. Free pot. Some free pot. Just a little closer. Just a little closer. Okay. Okay, just a There we go. Oh, it just gets getting easier and easier. Oh, it just don't get any easier than this. My God, these children are stupid as hell. Oh my God. Another one for Biden. Another one for my friend, Joe Biden, my good friend. Listen, my good friend Joe Biden, he would never, ever do anything wrong. I mean, if you ever notice, isn't that kind of how like streamer communities are too? Hassan's community. What is it? It's a bunch of they have the small puppy, right? The little dog. And in a lot of cases it is actual children, like XQC's community. Hassan, same shit. His community is the same thing. Hey! It smells like cheese. Anyway. There we go. That's the point. Let's continue. Let's continue. So what does patriarchal communism mean? By contrast. Is Trump different from this in your analysis? Of course he's different. Of course he's different. The only way you would equate Trump with this is if you're not even thinking about what I'm saying. Trump is a kind of false father, but Trump is, yes, of course, different. Child catcher, chitty, bang, bang. Someone please make a fucking meme of Bernie. He's Biden's child catcher. Oh my God. Someone please make a meme of this. Someone please make a meme. Please. I will literally... That's literally Bernie. Biden's child catcher. That's right. My good friend Joe. Someone really gotta make a meme of this. Okay, someone's really gotta get in on this. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, patriarchal communism is communism that's not based on alien abduction. It's a communism that's based on deep-rooted the patriarchal tradition. So what does that look like? If you live in Lebanon or Palestine or Latin America, why do you join the Communist Party? Well, my father was a communist, my family was communist, and that's why. And even if they weren't, you say my community was communist. And if it wasn't, my people were communist. You draw from authentic tradition and source close to you, close to your being. Same thing. Same thing, Russian communists. Where does it come from? Does it come from alien abduction promising you free candy? No. It comes from your tradition. It comes from your people, your tradition, your history. That's where it comes from. My grandfather was communist, his father was communist, whatever. And if that so happens not to be the case, you get the point. Even if it's not the case that your father was communist, your grandfather was communist, you draw from the authentic tradition. So American communists must be patriarchs and patriots. Patriarch in the strict sense. Patriarchal in the strict sense of drawing from the deep-rooted American tradition. Something deep in America, from within America. That's here and proximate. Not alien abduction, promising you a way out of the Oedipal struggle. Communism must evoke the name of the father. Name of the father of...
Bonaparte donated $3. BTW French of Infrared Nation vote for my heir Jean-Christophe Bonaparte, Prince Napoleon, in the coming election. He supported the populist Yellow Vest movement and is therefore more based than macaroni. And he added Chad Big Chin.
Is that real? Is he actually running? Is he actually running as a populist? I don't see him running here. It's so fucking scary how he looks like Napoleon. That's actually terrifying. He literally looks like Napoleon. That's actually so fucking weird. That's terrifying, honestly. That's honestly terrifying. It's uncanny, yeah. That is actually uncanny. But, so what does patriarchal mean, right? Why am I skeptical of when people tell me, oh, it should be 50% women, 50% man, whatever in your community? Because we must first and foremost establish...
Build the patriarchy.
Thank you, Isel. We must establish a alternate source of patriarchal legitimacy. We must contest the ruling class of America as the legitimate patriarch. We must say we more authentically represent the name of the American father. The founding father, George Washington, would be with us, not with you. In other words. In general, this will lead, probably is my prediction, to more men in our community than women. Now, do I want to ban women or prevent them from coming or drive them off? No, but I'm just saying it's something to be expected. Something that wouldn't surprise me, right? But there's nothing wrong with that. And the reason there's nothing wrong with that is because when you dwell in this community of children where it's 50-50 and there's no patriarchal foundation, anything like that, you're still, it's not like you've subverted the patriarchy. You're still within the patriarchy of the old white men of Joe Biden and the rich and the wealthy men. I mean, that's why the quintessential structure of a communist organization today is basically like within the organization, everyone's fluid and equal and there's no men. But then, you know, you got that old man is the sugar daddy on the side. You know what I mean? That's where you got that thing going on. I mean, it's just kind of like, I'm talking about metaphorically, right? You got that kind of shit going on where it's like, you just see of it as like you're being children and you're infantiling yourselves, but then your actual adult life and being is like elsewhere. where we need to be adults as communists. And what I mean by being adults as communists means we fully invest our whole manhood, our whole sense of devotion and responsibility, and so on, to building a communist party and to building a communist movement. So to me, no, I'm not saying within the party. Like, for example, look, can I just be toxic for a second? I'm thinking of a DSA chapter where there's a debate about sex work. Oh, sex work is good. Sex work's bad. Well, then, what about the fact you got a fucking sugar daddy on the side? I mean, that doesn't factor into your debate here? Of course it does. Yeah, it doesn't start out with those numbers, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a patriarch one way or another. You can acknowledge him, you can deny him, you can foreclose it, you can repress it, but that patriarchal shit is there anyway. So there needs to be a communist patriarchy. And now you're going to say, Haas, are you against women subverting the patriarchy? No, I don't care, right? Go subvert the patriarchy within the communist patriarchy and subvert that one. But don't try to weaponize the authority of the old white rich men that your daddy, in other words, and throw that shit on us. Because your little melodrama with him, we got nothing to do with that, right? So if you want to do the subvert the patriarchy thing, do it. Do whatever shit you do. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't speak for women. I don't know what y'all are doing. But don't impose your melodrama with your sugar daddies in the communist organization. You understand? Because a communist organization is full of men. Real men. Not children. Not even comrades become like this cute word, which is why I'll never use it. It's like this cute little like childish word. Comrade. Shut the fuck up. I'm not your fucking comrade. Let's bake brownies, comrades. Nah, fuck out of my face with that shit. You know what I mean? How about forget all this psychoanalysis shit? Forget all the gendered language. What if I just say, how about a communist party is something you should respect? You should respect it. You should respect it. The same way, or even more way, that you respect your institutions and your workplace and your fucking Democrat Party and all that fucking bullshit. You respect Joe Biden. You may not like Joe Biden, but you respect him. You respect his authority. You don't respect communism, though. You don't respect the Communist Party, do you? Well, then get the fuck out. You understand? You should see the party is not the clinic. The party must be a sacred institution. You have sacred respect for the party, right? Every time I see somebody come to me and be like, it's pretty worrying how this server is mostly male and it's not 50% women. And I'm like, okay, well, what would it mean for it to be 50% women right now at this stage? What it would mean is that we'd be a fucking daycare center that's just completely harmless with no toxicity and completely welcoming. Oh, comrades, let's bake brownies. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. That's not what we are. We are fucking toxic. We do have the toxicity of the partiality of a patriarchy, right? And that is what it is. And there's women in our server who can hold their own amidst that shit, or at least not have it be a problem, or can look past the wildness of the community and the kind of toxic atmosphere that sometimes prevails. But you're not going to build real sexual equality and gender equality, whatever the fuck you're looking for, when you're not even adults to begin with. When you don't begin from the platform of being a fucking adult, the conventions and norms of being able to respect each other. Yeah, it's always male communists obsessing why there aren't more women. And the only people that have ever confronted me with that were men. Men always confront me. Haz, why aren't there more women? We need to bring in more women. I think you're looking for pussy, dude. That's what you sound like when you say that shit. I think you're looking like sound like a fucking creep when you say that shit. You know, I'm pretty sure you're like, I want a wider buffet on my menu. Because you're a creep. You're not a fucking, The problem with not having a communist patriarchy is that every man tries to be the patriarch. Every man tries to be like this dude who like is the representative of women. All women are in my harem. I speak for all women. I'm the, you know what I mean? Like all these male feminists got that fuck. You never notice they got that mentality where like they're the protector of all women, they're the fucking representatives of all women or some kind of shit like that. Get the fuck out of my face with that motherfucker. They don't like the fact that they're alienated from women. But guess what? That's part of being an adult, is accepting that alienation. You don't speak for all women. You sound like a virtue signaling fucking creep. You're not an androgynous god. You're a fucking dude. You're a dude. You're a man at the end of the day. The only thing that's really going to empower women is women community, independent women community stuff. Like where women can be with each other and empower themselves through each other, right? Not through these fucking male feminists that are pretending to like be the protectors and leaders of all women. You know what I'm saying? And it's so good when you have that shit. It's good when if women can click up in a communist movement, that way they can aren't you the guy who cried about being called a pussy? Get in my fucking VC, you little bitch, and let's see where that ever fucking happened. Let's see where that's ever fucking happened, you little bitch. Get in my fucking VC, you pussy. You're a fucking pussy. Get in my fucking VC right now, and we're gonna talk about whether anything like that can ever, where did that even fucking come from, right? But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But anyway, as I was saying, a good atmosphere of women's equality is not when everyone is like running around as minions, the yellow minions, and it's just all like cute and wholesome and everyone's a fucking child. It's when you have real men and then you also have women who, and then you have a respectful distance. And then women have complaints, they can come forward with their complaints collectively, like representing each other with their complaints and concerns and all that whatever kind of shit. And then something can be worked out. It should be thought of like gangs, right? Each gender should have a gang. You have a gang, it's just like in prison. In prison you have all these gangs, you mostly leave each other alone, and then if something needs to be sorted out, you sort it out. That's how I think of it. And then beyond that, people can just not have to care about gender, right? You could just interact as adults and not be creepy. Don't bring up other people's gender for no fucking reason. And, just be adults. And that's where the real comrade, the gender neutral comrade shit is going to step in. But listen, you're not going to like overcome these realities. We need real men in a communist movement. We also need real women, but what we don't need is soy boy men, virtue signaling male feminists who are trying to like, and we don't need children. We don't need children. We don't need soy boys. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, Poggy, you're a fucking little bitch. You're a little bitch. You know that? Did you know you're a little bitch? He streams Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver. He streams with only 6 followers. 6 follower streamer. Now, usually I'd make fun of you for being a 6 viewer streamer, but you're a 6 follower streamer. By the way, you called me a pussy. Why don't you get in my fucking VC? Why don't you get in my VC since you called me a pussy? Unless you're a pussy, you would get in my VC right now. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Fucking Pokemon streamer little bitch. And this is exactly the creep I'm talking about. This guy's a creep. He wants to join the DSA. Listen, when you don't have a patriarchal foundation, you have men who don't have a sense of responsibility. You have men who are like, oh, we're all running around as minions. And that's where the creepy shit, creep is a result of perversion and the jouissance of partial drives. That's what perversion is. Perversion isn't when a dude is about his business and acts like a man. Perversion is when a dude's like, it's fucking got that creepy partial drive, multiplicity of jouissance going on. A true patriarch is not a fucking pervert or a creep, right? Matter of fact, if you want to get super extreme based, a true patriarch would never even bother a woman at all. What he would do is he would mediate it through a third party or some shit, like a traditional arranged marriage type shit. I don't fucking know. But I'm just trying to tell you, like, it's that sense of respectful distance that you're only going to get with patriarchy. Sorry. And again, is it women's nature to subvert patriarchy? Maybe. Maybe that is their nature, to always subvert the patriarchy, keep men on their toes. I don't fucking know. But what I do know is that we need a communist patriarchy. Patriarchy doesn't mean men are in power. Patriarchy means there is a respect and reverence for the sacred name of the father being the tradition of communism as an independent tradition of its own. Communism is not a repository of all your grievances and dissatisfactions with your fucking daddy. We got our own daddy here. You understand? This isn't some alien abduction that's going to come and save. We're not Dumbledore's going to save you from your fucking problems. We have our own family. Does that make sense? I'm speaking very symbolically and shit. I'm not talking about like the rule of an actual bearded man who's telling people what to do and shit. I'm just talking about patriarchy in like a literature sense. You know? I'm sick of communism being abused to be a circus of all the misfits and freaks. Oh, fuck you, bitch. We have our own shit going on here. You want to be a fucking communist? You gotta obey our rules. You gotta, respect our tradition. You can't just. We don't just take in anybody. We're not just gonna take in anybody who's mad about capitalism and the patriarchy and then the society and the government. We're not just gonna take you in if you're just. You know what I mean? We should take you in if you respect we are our own private thing. We're our own private tradition and interest. We're our own fucking faction. We got our own history. We have our own lineage. We have our own church. We have our own church. We're not some fucking repository of all the misfit toys. Do you believe in chivalry? No. I believe in men and women professionally leaving each other alone. Male and female comrades of a party. You can interact, don't get me wrong. Just when it comes to your gender, leave each other alone. Don't probe the otherness of someone's sexuality. Just have a distance. Have a respectful distance, Don't bring it up. These male feminists, honest to God question.
Napoleon_Bonaparte donated $5. Pokemon streamer, DSA show. Is this the best that the so-called intellectual bourgeois can send?
Thank you, Napoleon. Let me ask you a question. Do women like this when a dude has this mentality where he's like, oh, a new female member has joined the Discord. Hi. I'm so glad we have another female. It's getting more progressive in here. Come, females. Come into my embrace. Is that what y'all like? Is that what y'all want? Because these are the dudes who bother me and pester me about not having enough women in our Discord. I think it's weird. I think it's weird when a man thinks he has the right to enter into another's sexuality just because he's a feminist. Oh, I'm a feminist, so therefore I have the keys to your womanhood. Here's my key. No, you don't have a fucking key, motherfucker. You're a completely other person. That's a completely other person who you know nothing about. her being a woman does not fucking entitle you to think you know anything about her. Yeah, it's like a form of harassment. You know, if I joined a communist party and they're like, I am so glad we have more Arab representation. Motherfucker, get the fuck out of my face, bitch. Who are you to be the god of all Arabs, motherfucker? You don't know shit about us. Fucking just take a few steps away, you know? Take a few fucking steps away. Don't fucking harass me about my fucking ethnicity, motherfucker. It's like when you have to bring up someone's particularity, especially when they're a minority, whether it's a sexual minority or an ethnic minority, you're harassing them. It's like a form of fucking harassment, you know? I'm a human being just like you. I take a shit just like you. I wipe my ass just like you. Stay away from my stinky ass or you're going to have a whiff of some nasty Taco Bell last night, motherfucker. I'm going to say something. Anytime I go near a white liberal that's talking about my ethnicity, I crop dust them right mid conversation, whether they can hear it or not. I'm a crop dust them. First, I'm a crop dust them and then walk away crop dusting. You understand? You come with me in that shit, bring up my ethnicity condescendingly. Oh, I'm a crop dust you. I'm going to go to the DSA meeting. I'm a crop dust it, by the way. And I'm instituting a cultural revolution in the Communist Party. If you're a member of the Communist Party and you see this behavior, let's say there's a dude, we need more representation. If you see that dude, I want you to promise me and vow me, members of the Communist Party in here, by the way, join the Communist Party, you go and crop dust them. Crop dust them. Don't do this shit where you go, I have to use the bathroom and you take care of business. No, go crop dust them. Crop dust them. No, crop dust. Sir Wenger, you're a fucking dumbass, and you're getting timed out for 2 days. Go ahead and crop dust them. Crop dust them. That's what I believe in. Fucking creepy ass motherfuckers. You ever notice the issue is always intrusion. That's always what the issue is. Intrusion. All issues come from that. Intrusion. 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 There's no such thing as a benevolent male feminist. There's no such thing as a benevolent male feminist. There's no such thing as a benevolent male feminist. There's no such thing as a benevolent male feminist. There's no fucking such thing as a dude who just, I want to help women. What women, motherfucker? You're just a dude. You're just one dude. You don't have a universal relationship to all women. You're one fucking dude. Here's your relationship to women. Getting rejected, you fucking ugly fat loser. That's your relationship to women. But listen, men adopt feminism as a way to feel like they're beyond their own particular sexual defects. Like, if you're just one man, your relationship to women is not going to be universal. It's going to be determinate. Your relation with your mother, with people in your life, people around you. And when it comes to that, it's not always good. You don't always get, sometimes you get rejected. And for these male feminists, they're always getting rejected. So the way they try and feel like they can have a forced relationship with women is by becoming feminist. Oh, since I'm a feminist, I can automatically be always in a relationship with every woman on earth at once. They literally want a unconditional, universal relationship to women. You ever notice that shit? Male feminists are banned in my community. Any man that calls himself a feminist is banned in my community. You're fucking banned. You are fucking banned. And I'm not joking. Mods, that's a new rule. In our Discord, I want you to root out every male feminist in our Discord. Fucking ban them from our Discord. Ban every single one. Every single one needs to get banned. Every single one. Every male feminist gets banned from our server. Every single one. And what does an incel mean? Does it mean a dude who just doesn't get pussy? Because I don't think that's a crime to just not get pussy. So what does it mean? I don't even know what that word refers to anymore. Does it mean a dude who's not experienced with women? Well, guess what? There's a lot of soldiers in an army. A lot of those soldiers are not going to have any experience with women. It's always how it's been. Well, that's not a crime. That's not a crime any more than it is a woman who's not experienced with men. There's nothing wrong with that. Is what it is. He doesn't get pussy and he's mad about it. Okay, then yeah, we can ban that. I mean, if you're going to be salty about it and shit, then yeah, we can ban that. Blame women for lack of sex. Okay, you can ban that. Whatever. You can ban that. But we don't need that shit. But is it a dude who's like not girly enough? Because I feel like that's what I'm hearing. It's like for example, people have told me, oh, the servers, I feel like there's incel vibes because it's like 90% men. And I'm like, what do you fucking mean by incel then, you motherfucker? Like, what do you mean by incel? What the fuck do you mean by incel? You know, what do you mean by that word? Because you know, you go to, like, there's some gyms that are 90% men. What's your fucking point? Is that there's always a dude with a checkboard. He's got a company. You don't have enough women in your server. What the fuck is it to you? You know what I mean? It's like that dude from the show Silicon Valley. What's that dude from the show If you're gonna understand this, I say Silicon Valley cast. There he is. This dude. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. It's this dude. Now, if you know, I'm not gonna explain it. If you know, you know. Okay? It's this dude. This dude from. That's what this is. That's what it is. That's exactly it. Jared from Silicon Valley. Every single male feminist is just like this dude. Every single one. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But if you watch that show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Let me actually look up some footage on YouTube.
One large artichoke, extra rare, cup of mayonnaise. I see you still take your snack at 317. I know that Slipsocks is Yamnet, and that you're here. You guard. I had umpteen.
Network capacity is degrading.
Okay, wait. Let me find a good one. That's not a good one. This is the best of Jared Dunn.
Hey, sorry if I scared you. I know I have somewhat ghost-like features. My uncle used to say, you look like someone starved a virgin to death.
I noticed that your server only has a minority proportion of women.
Napoleon_Bonaparte donated $3. The focus must be about creating families, not focusing on liberal gender ideology. We must endorse fatherhood, not single petty male feminists.
Thank you, Napoleon. Based as always.
Yeah, I can see it.
Good morning. Whoops.
Am I just gonna see a dick?
That was weird. I don't know why I did that. You kind of have a kingish feeling to you. You're like a Norse hero from Valhalla. They actually tried to diagnose me with a wasting disease because
I've known so many people like this in my life.
of my slender frame. I think we can jump into the one-on-ones with each team member to see if I can defend our cat table.
Okay.
But first, if you don't mind, I'd like to use the restroom.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to ask permission to do that. Why have you not gone since you've been here?
I have not.
What the fuck does this remind me of? I've done business with people like this. I've done business with people like this.
I'm awake. I'm awake.
What?
No, I wasn't. I was sleeping. I'm sorry for sleeping and for lying about it for both. No good.
It's not great news. We love the name Pied Piper. It's a classic fairy tale.
Well, I looked it up. It's about a predatory flautist who murders children in a cave.
It has all that going for it, Richard, and I still hate it.
I hate this guy so much. Anyway, you got the point, okay? You got the point. You got the point, okay? Now that was my rant, and beyond the rant, I'm gonna go ahead and say, beyond the rant, everybody go vote for me in this shit right now. I want everybody. Would you rather abuser or male feminist? Same shit. It's the same thing. Everybody nominate me. So best battle royale streamer, infrared show. Infrared show. So have I played battle royale on stream? Yeah, I played Minecraft. I played Oblivion, League of Legends. I've watched it on Destiny stream. FPS, I played Halo. Best just chatting streamer. Hell yeah. It's like best VTuber. Hell yeah. I don't know what that means. Strategy game. Hell yeah, that's me. ASMR. Oh, you know it. You know it. Best music. You know it. I'm gonna show you how to fill this shit out. It's a little bit, but I gotta win this shit, okay? You know it. Damn, bro. Okay. Infrared show. Fuck. Okay, I'll give Pokimane this one. Infrared show. Easily. I'll give it to Pokimane. Infrared show. There you go. That's definitely me. Infrared show. Pokimane. Infrared show. Easily submitted. What? What do you mean I gotta log in? Okay, submit all. Yeah, I submitted it. So it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple how it works. And it's pretty simple how it works. Go and fucking vote for me. Cause at least I gotta be nominated for this shit. I gotta be nominated at the very minimum. And that's minimal. That's like minimal. You understand? Alright. Now, is there any news I'm gonna cover before I get into the thick of your mother's thickness? Anything at all. Any news that I'm trying to pay attention to. Any news. Oh yeah, so there's some Dave Chappelle shit going on. And I'm going to talk about it. Dave Chappelle.
Aiden Stone donated $5. Check your Twitter DMs.
Okay. Yo, look at this. Let me check for TOS. Hold on. Because, all right. Look at this, guys. I haven't talked about Mali yet. I'm going to do it tomorrow, not today. Yo, look at this. Look at this. LOL. LOL. LMAO. That's actually fucking hilarious. That's unironically fucking hilarious. That's actually fucking brilliant, hilarious, beautiful, and excellent. All right. So we're gonna watch the Tamerlane. Yeah, we're gonna watch a few things. I want to actually watch some stuff about Nick Land with you guys, but there's the Dave Chappelle thing that's going viral, and I'm gonna take a crack at this because I don't really buy what they're trying to say about it and the mainstream narratives and shit. So I'm gonna take a crack at this. So apparently, let's read the headline. Dave Chappelle personally came to the city council meeting and threatened to remove $65 million of investments from his city. They allowed a developer to move forward with an affordable housing program. The objection wasn't to the build, but the affordable housing complex. First of all, I'm skeptical. I'm like, that's just shady when they do that shit in a community because you don't know if they're using the land for speculation, to scam. You don't even know what the real are they doing it for gentrification? You don't even know why they're doing it. So there's a lot of reasons why it would be legitimate for him to oppose and object to this fucking bullshit, right? So I don't buy the headline. Let's see what the incriminating and damning evidence is. Okay, let's check it out.
Can I go? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Hi.
This is like every time someone comes to my VC to debate. Hello? Can you hear me? Bro, I don't... Let me make an example of this guy. Hey, I'm going to just make an example of you. So someone came in my chat and they said Vosh trending. And I actually permanently banned him. So yeah. I want to be very clear about something. And this is something I've been meaning to get to in this stream specifically. I've been meaning to get to this. I refuse to be someone who defines myself as the guy who's different from Vosh. I'm not defining myself at Vosh's expense. Vosh is not important enough. So you come in my chat just to seethe about Vosh. You come in my fucking Reddit to share your stupid pictures about Vosh. I don't fucking care, dude. I don't fucking care. Why do you always beat a dead horse? No one takes him seriously. Everybody says he's a clown. Nothing he says has any fucking material effect, like relevance. Why do you come to me like I should care about Vosh? I don't. I'll respond to any big streamer who talks shit about me, but why the fuck do you trying to turn my community into a Vosh seethe fest, a seething about Vosh festival? He's not that fucking important, okay? He's not important. You come in my chat, you use my community just to hate on Vosh. Is there nothing else of value you're getting from my community? Are you not getting anything independent here? Am I not fucking giving you any independent perspective? I just went on a 2-hour rant about psychoanalysis and patriarchy. Read the fucking room, dude. You're in the wrong fucking place. It's like, what about Vosh should I be taking seriously? Intellectually, he is leagues below my level. And without saying much more, he's not particularly charming. He's not particularly entertaining. So I just don't understand why I should care about Vosh at all. He's leagues below the type of theory that I deal with. He's not charming or entertaining. So what is it? Now, if you talk about Hassan a little bit, I kind of get it because he's like the biggest streamer on Twitch. He is pretty entertaining sometimes. And he's not just, you know what I mean? Like, I get it when it comes to Hassan. I don't fucking understand it when it comes to Vosh. I really don't. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't understand. What am I supposed to be fucking impressed? Why should I care? I don't fucking know why I should care. Why does Vosh bother you so much? Why does he live in your head? Why do you allow him to live in your head? Like, what does he matter so much? I don't get Vosh recommended videos on my YouTube. The only time I am forced to think about him is when you fucking bring him up. And I'm just sick of people coming into this community making it seem like we have to look, Vosh is my final boss. No, he's not. I already fucking destroyed Vosh very effective. Like, there's nothing else. You know what I mean? He's just living in your head rent free pretty much at this point. He's like the enemy in the first level of the game. Yeah, he's the tutorial. Why do you always bring him up? It's 2021 shit. It's not what my fucking channel's about. I'd rather go down to 200 viewers again than to just always fucking goddamn face this issue of people so impressed by anything Vosh says that I have to always... Yeah, Vosh is trending on Twitter. I don't fucking care, dude. I don't care. He's always trending on Twitter. Why do you fucking make it seem... What am I, I'm not the irrelevant who just reacts to other streamers. I have my own thing going on. Motherfucker. I'd rather go down to 200 viewers and build back up from a solid foundation than have to fucking care about shit I don't care about. Thank you, Voidburn.
I am Dave Chappelle. I just want to say, and Marianne, I can talk to you about this privately. I don't know why the village council would be afraid of litigation from a $24 million a year company while they X out a $65 million a year company. I cannot believe you would make me audition for you. You look like clowns. I am not bluffing. I will take it all off the table. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So.
So, the thing with this is that apparently Dave Chappelle was stopping affordable housing. I don't know if I buy that. I want to know more about it. I want to know more details. I don't buy it. So many people jumped on this shit too. And the thing people got to understand about people like Chappelle and Rogan, I mean, people are so after them, is that they walk on eggshells. One thing that makes them look bad, they're all gonna swarm on them. No one else is like that. You know, if that was fucking Chris Hayes, it wouldn't have been trending on Twitter at all. That was Chris Hayes, you know? He gets a free pass, do whatever the fuck he wants, right? No one else does. Nobody else really does. Okay, we're gonna learn about Nick Land. Is there any TOS in this? Does anyone remember? I don't think there is. Pretty sure there's not. Did we watch this yet? Okay. Okay, let's watch.
Quite a few issues nowadays seem pretty much impossible to deal with. Whether at the individual or collective level, it's honestly hard to imagine a way out of inequality, pollution, human rights violations, and any other assortment of dread-inducing buzzwords. But maybe we just aren't being creative enough. In a 1967 sci-fi novel, Lord of Light, there's a group of revolutionaries, way off in the future, who want to take their society to the next level. They believe they can do so through swiftly altering the social attitudes people carry about technology. Instead of fear of the unknown, we should put our foot on the gas and see where it takes us. They called themselves accelerationists. Accelerationism is the real-world belief that technology and capitalism should be sped up. This is either because they genuinely think this is a good idea that will result in some sort of techno-capitalist utopia, or because there is simply no alternative. We can either prolong our suffering or go right through it. Hence they
Oh god, that's tough.
push for deregulation.
And I'm talking about the viewers. That's just fucking wow. I guess this is the new norm, whatever. But, wow. Shit.
The merging of the
I fucking hate the Twitch viewers. I hate them.
digital with the human, and the
Stupid Twitch algorithm dumbasses.
overall rejection of the belief that we can somehow control progress. Current accelerationist circles have even argued that the
And it's actually an interesting video. It's time to go now. It's an interesting video, so this is my cue to leave. He's not talking about Hassan, so I'm gonna leave. Fuck you, bitch! I don't ever want you to come back.
election of Trump, a hyper-capitalist, anti-establishment figure, is the first true manifestation of their movement in politics. Where did this begin exactly? Many point to the mysterious philosopher and writer Nick Land as the source of the movement. Land was a young professor at Warwick, already known for his eccentricity, love of Nietzsche, and his propensity for climbing over chairs. He would tell his lecture audiences that he worked in the field of the collapse of Western civilization studies, and he would also get extremely high in his office. Reading everything he could get his hands on, Land quickly consumed all of Deleuze and Guattari's work, including Anti-Oedipus, as well as the work of Lyotard. These thinkers emerged at a time when the leftist project appeared futile. In Anti-Oedipus, Guattari and Deleuze wrote about the left's need to acknowledge the ability for capitalism to liberate and oppress, rather than simply oppose it at every turn. They
Hey, Wookie, you just lost your privileges to ever be in this chat. Ever. Forever.
just embracing the anarchic tendencies of the free market in order to go still further in the movement of the market, to accelerate the process. Lyotard would also write Libidinal Economy, which praised capitalism for its naturalness and that even its most oppressive aspects were enjoyed by its victims. Land was inspired by this thinking and began to form his own philosophy. In 1992, he suggested that capitalism had never been fully unleashed and was always held back by politics, a practice he considered primitive, the last great sentimental indulgence of mankind. He began to form this idea of embracing the apocalypse through acceleration. Land saw capitalism as the motor of modernity, above and beyond any individual movement. This is strengthened by hyperstition, which is what he called the action of successful beliefs and ideas that, once emergent in the culture, give rise to their own reality through apocalyptic positive feedback loops. They are fictions that make themselves true. Capitalism is perhaps the greatest at this through, for example, forming consumer desire for things that aren't actually essential. Capitalism, he adds, reduces the importance of the self. This was an idea that Land was quite comfortable with. As he argued, the individual has now become less important than the system they lived within. The human experience is becoming increasingly irrelevant. This is evident in
There's two types of people in my chat. One is the dumbass who's like, I don't understand any of this. Even though it's like the most simplified shit ever. It's not that you don't understand, it's just you're a lazy fuck who doesn't care to. That's the truth. You're a lazy fuck. You're just a lazy fuck. Thank you, Noble One. Then the other guy is in my chat going, this is actually a wrong reading of Land. But at least it's something. Go make your own fucking video. Trying to give people something, man. Okay, so no one wants this? No one wants to watch this shit? No one needs this? What do you want me to do? Watch TikTok videos?
early speech of Land's called "Let's Put the Rat Back in Rationality." He argues that we should view death not as a particular...
You could probably give a better summary of Land off the dome. Are you a gifter? You're not. So see you in 8 days. I'll see you in 8 days. Thank you, Maximilian.
...event in an individual's life, but rather through the view of the rats carrying the Black Death across Europe, as a world encircling swarm with no coordinates or individuation. When asked if he is telling us to abandon the human experience, he simply responded that it's worth studying but shouldn't be prioritized. And deadlines can be. Every day really does work exactly. Endel reacts to inputs like time of the day, weather, first 100. His thought was only further encouraged by new arrivals at the Warwick Philosophy Department, who equally rejected the optimism of the Californian ideology, which envisioned a world in which new technology unlocked human potential, as well as the traditional leftist view of humanism.
I want you to cook a steak.
Based.
Thank you, Argentinian. Okay, Rev status, some mod. Give him Hero of Infrared.
And rights that pervaded humanities departments. With the help of two young lecturers, Mark Fisher and Seti Plant, they formed the Cybernetic Cultural Research Unit, or CCRU, which operated within a single office in the philosophy department. The CCRU listed these now commonly discussed, but at the time quite niche topics, as their general discussion points, and they would regularly produce cryptic articles with invented terms and convoluted messages. For example, the article Swarm Machines discusses situationists, carbon dating, and describes jungle, an intense genre of electronic dance music. They would also host virtual futures, conferences that acted as a performative way to reject the common discipline and formality of university lectures. For example, in one, Land simply laid down in front of an audience and croaked into a mic while they played jungle. An audience member reportedly stood up and said, "Some of us are still Marxists, you know," and stormed out. As time passed, the CCRU became more and more despised. Land would leave the department and continue the work of the CCRU above a spa body shop. There, the group drifted from accelerationism towards the occult, a move like...
You guys are looking at one of the biggest influences on infrared. Like, one of the biggest ones.
Inspired,
but everyone's too stupid. Like, it's just sorry. These people are too stupid to understand. You know, you go and look for my influences with. Are you influenced by Bosch? Are you influenced? Who the fuck is Bosch? I don't know who that is. I didn't come from that. You're just stupid. You're literally like looking at like one of the biggest influences on what made infrared. Is this Vosh? What does this have to do with where's Destiny? Where's Vosh? What is it? Who the fuck are you? I don't know who you are. This is where I came from.
By their abusive use of amphetamines.
Like, I came from a different world than you, you know? You came from Vosh. I came from this.
And alcohol. They would move into the Satanist Aleister Crowley's old house and spend the nights drawing satanic diagrams on the wall. After several mental breaks, the members, including Nick Land, disappeared from the public eye, and the CCRU was officially disbanded. The first half of Nick Land's life is still considered to this day to be a radical extension of leftist thinking. Members of the CCRU, such as Mark Fisher, had continued their work with great success. For example, Fisher would go on to establish a theory that continued to argue
I know the people behind this.
For the acceleration of capitalism, but suggested it be channeled towards an altered modernity, based on automation.
To fucking read this shit to my friends in fucking, my political friends in college. We just fucking order the book. Shit, guys, you guys are fucking stupid. Y'all are babies. Y'all are babies. What about Chomsky?
Reduced.
Thank you, Roxoff.
This is to make up for yesterday. Infrared is rising.
Thank you, Roxoff.
Working hours and UBI. Land, re-emerging in China years later, would criticize this left accelerationism, stating that the notion that self-propelling technology is separable from capitalism is a deep theoretical error. That's right. Nick Land moved to China. There, he has since appeared far more pro-government and has gone on to write that China is a fundamentally accelerationist society fixated on the future and speed. More significantly, Land has...
And that's what infrared's trying to be.
Expanded on his views of accelerationism through his piece entitled...
You're not watching Meltdown.
The Dark Enlightenment. In it, he argues that freedom is incompatible with democracy and that there is no value in democracy left. Instead, he pushes for a post-libertarian future which embraces authoritarianism.
AKA Marxism-Leninism, AKA proletarian dictatorship.
Specifically, he wishes for an ideal state that can be considered to be a capitalist monarchy or GovCorp, in which the state is controlled by an authoritarian CEO who manages the...
See, that's the irony, though, is that fucking Land hates these people. He doesn't like Jeff Bezos because all the wokeness comes from fucking corporations. So that's the paradox.
State through what Land called rational corporate governance. What about some semblance of human rights or rule of law? At this point in Land's career, such concerns are seen as a hindering to acceleration. Egalitarian policies slow us down when...
Bro, I mean, to be fair, it's not that at this point in his life, I mean, like, any serious thinker is gonna laugh at human rights. Do you actually think Nick Land believed in human rights 30 years ago? Of course he didn't. Nobody who's serious cares about human rights.
Instead, we should be rushing...
But what about human rights? What?
Towards what Land calls the techno-capitalist singularity. This anti-egalitarian embrace has united Land's current ideology of what he calls neo-reactionism.
What about human rights, huh?
With the alt-right. Neo-reactionaries tend to believe in the replacement...
Human what?
...of the modern nation with authoritarian city-states that value genetic fitness and intelligence. Such an
Yeah, that's where I disagree with Land, is that he's a Mendelian. Actually, if you think about it, the only disagreement I have with Land is he doesn't understand dialectics and he's a Mendelian. And those are actually the same thing. So I'm just going to say it's just because he's a Mendelian. If Nick Land embraced Lysenko, he would understand the truth.
Advocacy for what has sometimes been called hyper-racism, or the belief that some groups will fare better in moderate conditions than others and should be accelerated out of existence.
This is fucking stupid. I remember when this shit came out and everyone was mad about it because, like, these white supremacist mass murderers have nothing to do with Nick Land or the CCRU. They don't even cite them. What they mean by accelerationism is like, do their mass shootings to create political conflict. That has nothing to do with the fucking techno-capitalist accelerationism that Land and the CCRU were talking about. It's like the same word. There's not even none of these people cite Nick Land or read Nick Land. They don't even care. They don't even know who Nick Land is.
Has been seen as obviously controversial and hateful. Nick Land insists that the opportunity for viable ethno-supremacist politics disappears into a logical abyss. What to make of...
So he's against the fucking ethno-nationalism.
Nick Land. It's rare...
Why does he have such a distaste for the liberal establishment? They're all into eugenics because they don't admit it publicly.
Rare to hear of someone so brutally honest about the state of the world and the future. It's also equally rare to hear of someone who appears to embrace the speeding up of everything that is popularly considered to be bad, or at the very least, concerning. And
that's why it's based.
There's a peculiarity to Land's tone, so comfortable with disregarding the human experience and the individual, that leaves one uncomfortably in agreement with the idea that the human era is drawing to a close. His
I don't buy that.
Thoughts drift between crude, especially when describing race, to uniquely insightful, such as when he discusses the implications of capitalism on the self. Accelerationism has found support in environmental and Marxist circles, and has also been blamed for white supremacist attacks and informing...
I'm so glad I muted it.
Steve Bannon's worldview. Perhaps Nick Land is the perfect representation of that dark, self-imploding subpsyche lingering within all movements that struggle to understand, to advance, to hope in a world of speed and transformation. Sometimes it's freeing to know that we can just stop trying and simply let go of the wheel. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's right.
Holy fuck, Jordan Peterson talks shit about Trump in China? Let's check it out. Let's check it out!
This video is sponsored by CuriosityStream and Nebula.
Shut the fuck up!
creator-owned streaming service where you can watch my videos completely ad-free.
Stop! What is that? This video is trending my... I didn't fucking click on that.
Based.
Thank you,
Nick
ABT
Land
Bandit.
back.
Alright, we're gonna watch Jordan Peterson. Thank you, Abe the T Bandit.
Soros, which we know the name Soros. Here's what Soros said recently, and I'm curious to get your take on this. Soros is a guy that's worth, I don't know, $20 billion guy. He's a guy that is hated by the right, and a lot of people on the right think he is manipulative, deceptive, and he wants to inject his philosophies politically to this country. But here's what he said. He says that this is a Bloomberg article. Soros says China's real estate crisis, Omicron, threatens Xi rule. Billionaire philanthropist George Soros and China's Xi Jinping may fail to extend his rule of the country later this year in contrast to what most observers expect. Soros...
Thank you, Dragon. Thank you so much, Dragon. Appreciate you.
Cited Xi enemies within the party, real estate crisis, ineffective vaccines, and a failing birth rate as factors working against him. Internal divisions in China are so sharp that it has found expression in various party publications, Soros said. Xi is under attack from those who are inspired by Deng Xiaoping's ideas and want to see a greater role for private enterprise.
Shut the fuck up, you lying liberal lib shit, George Soros. Fuck. He's making shit up. And what does Jordan liberal shit Peterson have to say? Jordan Peterson, at the end of the day, I'm just a fucking liberal professor who didn't like the trans shit. But the truth is that I'm not subversive at all. I'm not against Soros or the establishment at all. I'm just a liberal who's a little disturbed by the blue hair psychotics that made me say the gender neutral pronouns.
What do you think is going to happen with Xi?
Listen, I'm Jordan Peterson. I'm a fake subversive. I'm not actually subversive or against the establishment. I pretend to be while telling people about the beauty of when people were dancing and shut the fuck up, Jordan Peterson, you fucking pussy.
And China.
Well, my sense of it, and I'm definitely no expert.
And I'm definitely not against the establishment at all, because at the end of the day, You know, at the end of the day, I'm a liberal. That's all I am, is a liberal. I'm a liberal who, you know, went viral because I was in a video yelling at a blue hair.
Expert is that it's not easy for the Chinese to maintain internal unity.
Why not?
And so they tend to focus on that, and perhaps that's partly why China hasn't been as expansionist a power as it might have been.
Is that why? Is that why? China's never been more unified than any fucking other country. What do you mean? Well, the reason they're not expansionistic is just because they're not unified. It's not because they don't actually believe in expansionism. It's because I'm going to come up with a cynical reason. Everyone's Hitler deep down.
Maybe that's changed to some degree in recent years. But it's a very large country. It has an incredibly diverse population. And so they have their own problems, their own internal problems, which are significant and preoccupying. And so I hope that they stay focused on their internal problems and that they stay focused on solving them. I mean, China has been forward-looking enough, thank God, to allow the free market enterprise to flourish despite the proclivity for implementing top-down, radical left state solutions.
This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't know the goddamn thing. First of all, there's like 5 things wrong. The radical left solutions were at the end of the Cultural Revolution with like the Shanghai Commune, where they wanted to have workers, self-organization, all that cringe shit. So top-down planning was not radical left. What are you fucking talking about? Well, I just wanted to be playful, and play is very important. I'm a very playful man. Jordan, fuck you, Jordan Peterson. I don't like this guy.
And the consequence of that has been, first of all, now China is a player in the international scene, for better or worse. I think mostly for better. I know that a lot of that was accomplished on the backs of the American working class. And that's catastrophic in many ways. But the fact that
I don't like when he speaks from ignorance. I don't like when he showed up to the debate with Zizek and just read. All he did was read the Communist Manifesto. Didn't read any of Zizek's books or familiarize himself with Zizek. And went there and was like, well, the problem with the Communist Manifesto was that... Shut the fuck up. He didn't even read... He just read the... I read the Communist Manifesto when I was 12. I read it when I was 12. You don't go on stage and just prepare by reading the...
There aren't tens of millions of Chinese people starving. That's a really good thing for international security. And
there was only one period in which they were starving, and that was during the famine of 58 to 61. After that, they weren't starving in China. Now, were they eating a lot? Were they eating a lot of meat? No. But they were nourished. They were eating. They just weren't eating, like, particularly good food.
And stability.
Like meat.
And that's...
Not enough meat. Meat was like a luxury.
No trivial benefit to the American...
Now they're eating a lot of meat.
...working class as well. And the fact is that China makes a lot of cheap stuff that works, mostly, and that...
Oh yeah, like Huawei phones are so cheap, right?
People who are more stressed economically have also benefited to that to a tremendous degree. So it seems that all of that has been good. The twist towards a more totalitarian mode of governance in the last 10 years, that's obviously extremely worrisome. The fact that China is a...
What's totalitarian, Jordan? What's totalitarian? Jordan, you're so full of shit, bro. You're so full of shit. He said Egypt was totalitarian.
The totalitarian state has had a very negative consequence on us in the West, especially in the immediate, what would you call it? In the immediate emergence of the pandemic, because what we did was we rushed to imitate a totalitarian state. We thought Chinese lockdown.
There's so much ignorance. Like, Chinese lockdowns were not top-down totalitarian things. They were handled at the grassroots level by community organizations at the local level, in collaboration with the government, obviously. Why does my viewer just drop? I'm waiting for it to increase, and it just drops to 399. It just drops. I don't know what the fuck to say. I don't know what the fuck to say. I don't know what the fuck to say. I don't know what the fuck to say.
Down, we better do it. It's like, really, we better do what the CCP did. Well, that's what we did. And we'll see. We don't know what the consequence of that is yet. We'll see. Not good.
You don't know anything about China. Okay. Shut the fuck up about China when you're getting your sources from the New York Times. You don't know a fucking thing about China, Jordan. You're talking out of your fucking ass. You don't know how the Chinese system works. You don't know what China is like. You just shut the fuck up about it. Stop talking about things you don't fucking understand. You sound stupid. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. Michaela's embarrassed. Everyone's embarrassed. And Michaela's on our side, by the way. She is dating or marrying a Stalinist. She's on our side, so stop this nonsense.
Not good, in my estimation. And certainly the Johns Hopkins study seems to, it's only a partial study in some sense. They've done the cost-benefit analysis. Costs so far. We have no idea what the costs are of having kids in masks for 2 years. We have no idea what the consequences are. What that's done, especially to introverted kids who are high in negative emotion, because they're going to be looking for a reason to hide anyways. And who knows what that's done to their psychological development, both as children and as adolescents. We'll find out over time, but we haven't paid the price for the pandemic lockdowns even a little bit yet. And did we destroy our economy? Like, these things take a long time. You know, they say if you're piling an oil tanker and you detect an iceberg in your path, you can see it. You've already hit it because it takes so long for you to turn that it's too late. Well, in some sense, these huge systems that we're a part of are like that, is that you can't tell.
Well, in some sense, you can't really do anything about it. And the thing that's really important to understand is, they were dancing in the chaos and order are coming together in such a way that they intersect together, and the way that the chaos happens with the order, there was just such a sense of joy. And joy is the stuff of redemption. Because you can't bloody be redeemed if you're not having some play. And when you bring some play into it, remember when I was with Sam Harrison, we were talking, and it was just a complete playful conversation. And, we started getting our hands out like this and playing with each other's hands and going around in a circle like, wee, like this. And we were playing with each other, and it was so playful. And there was so much redemption and joy in it. And I was, ah! And I cummed harder and faster than I've ever done before.
When they're broken, because they take a long time to fall over. And I don't know if our system is broken, but we're going to find out. And I don't know if the pandemic lockdowns broke it. And maybe they did.
And I had so many tears coming out, and particularly tears coming out of my private parts, because there's so much play and joy involved in the chaos rather than painful. And I have to realize that it's
didn't, and hopefully they didn't. I mean, I was in New York City, in Manhattan, a month ago, and it was the first time I'd really gone out anywhere other than Toronto. I'd been to New York a few years before, and it's a bouncing place, Manhattan. I love New York.
Oh, hell yeah, it's a bouncing place. I'm going to New York, by the way, guys, because I learned a lot of things about New York. And New York is where my type is at. You know what I mean? New York is bouncing, you know what I mean? I'm going to be going to New York. I'm going to be going to New York because I feel like I get along well in New York. A lot better than LA, you know what I mean? Like, New York is bouncing out here. You know, by the way, Julia Fox from New York, by the way. Julia Fox from New York, by the way. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I just know there's a lot of Julia Foxes around in New York, and I like that.
New York, it's such an amazing city. You know, the fact that Manhattan can even exist is just an ongoing absolute miracle. 7 million people compressed onto that island, and it's pretty damn clean, and it's pretty safe, and it's...
Okay, cap. New York is not clean. It's not safe by any stretch of the imagination. And what else?
Really cool, and there's...
Yeah, I don't know if it's cool.
Something to do...
I've been watching a show, guys. Oh, can I shrimp for a second? I've been watching this show, Archive 81. I'm going to watch more of it tonight after I'm done streaming. And I find the main character, she's so beautiful. Holy fuck. She has such a unique beauty. And I say that in the most respectful way that I can. Because I'm like saying that in a respectful way. Like, I'm not objectifying her. She's actually beautiful. Like, she's like the main... I've like fallen in love. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this, I could marry her, you know? Like, and then I turn out she's actually half Saudi Arabian. That's why I like her, apparently. But this show is really good. It's really good. It's really, really good. But, like, she has such a unique look. I love it. I love unique beauty. You know that? I love when someone's uniquely beautiful. And she actually is. She has a very unique look, which I like.
All the time, and you can walk around free, and, like, that bloody place is a miracle. That's for sure. And it looked pretty good. I thought, isn't this something?
It's called Archive 81 is the name of the show.
These people have been locked down for like 18 months, and this place isn't on fire. It's pretty clean, and most of the businesses are still open, and isn't that a bloody miracle? And which it most definitely is.
Isn't that a bloody miracle?
And so let's pray and not...
Every time my views drop before 400, I'm banning one person. So I'm going to wait to see who I should ban.
Be too resentful about all the foolishness. Let's pray that we wake up and we treat the pandemic like the flu.
Okay, first person I'm banning. Ban. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and ban Ludwig. You're banned, Ludwig. You're never allowed in my chat.
Flu, and we get back to something resembling the normality of Florida, and we put this behind us, and we don't get too upset about January 6th, and we don't
I can ban anyone I want. They don't have to be here.
Too vengeful about the Democrats and the radical left, and we elect someone half sensible to run the Republicans, and...
Oh, I can VIP Pokimane. VIP Pokimane.
Based.
Mod.
God bless you, King.
Pokimane. She's modded. She's modded in my chat. Pokimane is modded. She's actually modded. I trust her with everything. You guys know I just modded Pokimane? She's modded in my chat. I trust her with everything.
We carefully weave our way through to a peaceful future. Let's pray for that, because the alternative is pretty damn dismal. And I don't think we have to have the alternative. You know, we talked about Trump earlier. Here's my dilemma with Trump, one of many. He's beating the election was stolen drum pretty damn...
Thank you, Hide Wars.
Damn hard.
Is that? Let me see.
And I look at that as an outsider again.
Why do you trust her?
Because I'm Canadian, and I think, well, you Americans, you've been split 50-50 for like 5 decades, like right down the middle.
I actually like Pokimane a lot. And I don't want to be like creepy or whatever, but her hair, when she has curly hair, oh my god. Like I can I say like I want a wife who looks like that, at least?
And there's always election.
Because I love curly hair so much. I love curly hair so much.
Trouble. Because no system is 100% perfect. Maybe there's like a 1%, 2% margin of crookedness, something like that. And you're probably really not going to get rid of that. Maybe you can maneuver carefully to keep it so that it's never any more than 1 or 2%. But to get rid of that last bit of melt.
I don't know why I like certain people. I like Pokimane. I just like her. I don't know what to tell you. There's certain people that I just like. And she's one of them. I just like her, okay? I don't know what to tell you.
Feasance and deception and corruption would take such a heavy hand that would become...
And I don't like any of her friends, like Ludwig. I don't like them. I just like her. That's it.
Worse than the problem. And that's a real problem when you're split 50-50 because small election irregularities can throw the whole election. Okay, so it isn't obvious precisely what can be done about that. But the election was stolen narrative, I think it's weak for a variety of reasons. The first is it's pretty whiny.
You know what, Jordan? Aren't you whiny too, a little bit? I'm going to go ahead and push back. Aren't you a little whiny yourself?
Like...
You were crying about dancing.
Why didn't you win with 5% margin then? So how do you know this isn't your fault? And you think the Republicans aren't gerrymandering congressional districts? Because they are. And so it's not obvious that even if it is the case that there is substantive election fraud, that it's all from one side. And so there's that. And then you're sure that's the message you want to be sending people? That they shouldn't have faith in their most fundamental institution? You might be right, but it's in your interest for that to be true. And so that's a moral hazard. And then, well,
look, if I was Trump, I would see this as the most despicable fence-sitting shit ever.
What happens when you retake the House? Because that's what's going to...
It's just a despicable, like, spineless person.
Happen. I think the Democrats are going to get stomped in the upcoming election. Are those elections somehow valid, but yours wasn't? And so why magically when the Republicans get elected, that's honest, but when they don't, it's not? And so doesn't that take the wind out of your story? It's like, well, it was stolen. Well, you have the House and the Senate. How do you account for that? So that, to me, that's going to weaken that narrative. Trump is capitalizing on anger. He's using the election issue as a means to an end. And he may believe it, but it doesn't matter because it's a weak story, especially when the Democrats lose the House. It's a weak story. So it's not going to, it doesn't have any momentum. But then
Kiana's doing speed dating. What does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with me?
It's worse than that. Because I also think, and I've talked to lots of Republicans about this, is that the best story you've got? You got tradition on your side.
That shit is for viewers. I'm not a fucking viewer. I'm a fucking VIP famous guy. So I'm gonna be invited when they do fucking events and shit. I don't get fucking invited when they're just doing what? Doing what? Doing what?
You got the truth as an adventure on your side. You got belief in truth on your side. That's been abandoned by the radical left. You've got belief in science on your side. You've got responsibility on your side. You've got the fundamental purpose of higher education on your side. You can't conjure up a better story for Americans than the...
If it wasn't for the toll it takes on my views, I would just game right now. I kind of feel like gaming.
Election was stolen?
I kind of feel like playing Skyrim.
With all that on your side?
I kind of just want to like carry an axe around and just chase people and shit. But I don't know.
That's just not very impressive. And I have sympathy for politicians in general.
I'm not doing it.
In the United States.
I can't play game until I'm a solid 1K Andy. Until I'm 1K Andy, I can't game.
Congress people have very hard jobs. It's not a job I would like. I don't think it's a pleasant job. They spend a lot of their time fundraising, 25 hours a week, on the phone, out of their congressional offices, because otherwise they're not supported by their party.
Did you guys know that I was trying to hit 1K Andy this month? That's not going to happen.
Leadership.
It's pushed to end of spring. I want to be 1K Andy.
40% of them sleep in their offices when they go to Washington. They don't even have apartments. Those that
I still need to revamp my stream and shit and clean this up. So there's that.
Do usually have little bitty apartments. Their families aren't there because it's hard to get families to move to Washington now with dual career families. They don't have much of a social group. They have to run for their job every 2 years. This is not a... Plus, they're under attack all the time, and they're micromanaged and microscheduled. So...
But I'm curious, what point are you trying to make? Are you trying to make a point with Trump saying the fact that, election was stolen? Because that's exactly what Hillary Clinton's position was for 4 years. That elections were stolen from her, right?
Better.
Yeah, and no one points that out. No one points out how they said it was the Russians. The Russians are the reason Trump won. Russians are the reason. It was the Russians. That's the only reason, the Russians. Hey, why is my Twitter linked on the Reddit? That's my personal Twitter. What, are you going to link my Instagram next? Don't tell me you linked my fucking Instagram too. Yeah, thankfully you didn't. Get my Twitter out of there. Okay, this keeps getting recommended to me. Mr. Kitty After Dark. I don't like this. I don't like this song. I don't like the fucking clip. And how do I'm gonna make it so it never gets recommended to me again.
No better when she does it.
Oh, no, I'm not even. What I'm trying to say is I looked at it as a weak position. That,
It is a weak position.
It is a weak position she
whiny.
was taking. I think, okay. But
That's the worst of it. It's really?
Where are you going with this? Are you going with the
Tell a
fact
better
that...
story.
Tell a better story if you want to get reelected? Is that...
No. The way to reelection is through a better
Here we go with backtracking Jordan. Jordan the backtracker.
story, but that's not the reason to tell it. The reason to tell it is because you believe it. And for the first time in my life, really, I believe this to be the case, conservatives really have something to sell to young people. And they can sell the meaning of responsibility. Because young people are bereft of meaning. And most...
This is not how politics works, Jordan.
People...
Politics is based on classes. It's not based on fucking concepts.
Find meaning in responsibility. And when the right talks about responsibility, they kind of do it in that finger-wagging way that makes conservatives unpopular among young people. You should be responsible. It's like, yeah, you should. Why? Well, because your life is chaotic and meaningless, and you're stuck in this juvenile surreality. And
so is that what Trump should say in his campaign slogan, and that's going to be the winning slogan? Your life is chaotic. Jordan, can you leave the politics to the political people, and you can do your I was dancing. You can do that shit.
It's really painful for you, and you're anxious and aimless and goalless. And then you look at people who have a life, because maybe you could have a life, and you think, well, what does that life consist of? It's like, well, you have a committed, intimate relationship. There's one.
This guy doesn't know shit about politics.
You have friends that you're honest with and playful with. Mm-hmm. So you have a group of friends.
There we go.
You have a job or a career.
Here we go with that weird, playful shit. This dude he wants to play a little more, right? This dude, he loves that playful shit. He loves that shit talking about playful this and playful that. Bro, you need to go play with yourself and get your head together. So you stop talking in this creepy ass way.
Career. You learn
You
how
need some of that post-playful clarity.
to use your life.
Because you're repressing something and it's coming out in a different way.
Your time outside of work in a productive, engaging way. You regulate.
He loves fedoras. Did I ever tell you why I never watched the show the Expanse? Did I ever tell you why I never watched the sci-fi show The Expanse? Did I ever tell you guys that? So I watched so I gave it a shot like 6 years ago. I gave it a shot, okay? I gave it a shot, okay? I did give it a shot. And this is what happened. So I watched it, and I don't care if I kill my fucking views at this point. I don't give a fuck. So I watched it, and I went through all this shit. And then do this shit, and... Okay, excuse me. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. God, where is it? I think this is what it was. So this is what it was. All right, so I watched it. I gave it a chance. And I was like, okay, I'll watch this show, whatever.
One day, Mars.
Yeah, okay, so then I literally gave this show a chance right here. I was sitting on my fucking couch. I literally remember this. And it was like 6 or 7 years ago. And I decided I'm going to give this show a chance, right? So I sat here.
To them, we will always be slaves. That's all we are to the earthers and dusters. They built their solar system on our backs. Spilt the blood of 1 million of our brothers. But in their eyes, we are not even human.
Huh? What is that?
So the next time you
Yeah, and as soon as I realized this
A
is...
new era of infrared has arrived.
Thank you. But as soon as I saw this...
look in the mirror, say the word.
Yeah, the minute I literally exit... Let me see the exact part.
Every time we demand
time to play.
Yeah, I exited out right then. Right, I watched the first 2 minutes and I stopped giving it a chance. Just because he was wearing a fedora. And then and you guys think it's a joke, and it's not. Because I was like, I can't take this. This is like a nerd show. I'm not going to watch this. And then it turns out it became like this huge show, like really like 10 seasons and really popular. And I was like, yeah, I watched the first 2 minutes and that was too much. I said, no, I'm not watching sci-fi with fedoras. I'm not watching a fucking sci-fi show where he wears a fedora. I'm just not watching that. Okay.
Regulate your susceptibility to.
Yeah. Does Jordan wear a fedora, by the way? Can we look this up? Jordan Peterson fedora. He does. Why? Bruh. He does. Now he changed it for a swag hat. This is actually swag. This is pure swag, okay? This is pure swag. Yo, what up, Jackson? Thank you for the raid. But this is the definition of swag right here. Like, I like this, but this one is just... This just not it, you know? This one... Okay, we got it, you know. It's alright. You know, but okay, let's continue.
The multitude of hedonistic temptations that are in front of you. You pay some attention to your mental and physical health. You make a goal, some goals for the future that are concrete. Well, there's 7 things you can do. They're all responsible things. Why? Because then your life will have some meaning. Now, you might say, well, what's the ultimate meaning? It's like, get those things straight first. They're not nothing. And maybe you won't be so damn miserable and bitter and resentful and angry and aimless and anxious and frustrated and disappointed and then ashamed if you had 5 of
5 big booty bitches.
those 7 things going well. And the Conservatives can make that case. No bloody left isn't making that case. It's like for them, responsibility is pretty much equivalent to totalitarian patriarchal oppression. The Conservatives could just take that and say, no, our institutions, they're pretty solid. Maybe if you don't like what's happening on the political front, you join a group, a church, the Elks, the Rotary, some civic organization. Get in there and do your part. Why? Not because you should, even though you should, but because, well, why not meet some people who are like-minded and have a social group? And
you think Biden can have the kind of impact to push people away from the political party to the opposing side, similar to how Goldwater and what they did back in the days on how civil rights was handled when Barry Goldwater did what he did, and next thing you know, African Americans went from only 60% of them voting Democrat to 92% 4 years later. They went from 60% to 92% 4 years later.
Who is this guy? He's got a lion.
Next election.
Didn't this guy interview Dugan?
Republicans haven't had a chance on the African American vote since 1964. Do you think the current climate is that big of a climate where the conversion from one side to the other side to say, listen, I don't agree with you guys on censoring. If the guys want to talk, leave them alone. The way you handle COVID by shutting everybody down, I don't agree with that. Constantly printing money, I don't agree with that. Do you think it could be something where it could flip that big?
I don't know, because the next presidential election in this climate is a long way away. Because, who can predict the future even a year out, especially given the rate of technological change that we face now? I mean, you don't...
I mean, by next year, we might have the metaverse, and who knows what people will be doing with the metaverse. I mean, I was told that there was someone in the metaverse pretending to be me, and that there was a Jordan Peterson in the metaverse, and there was I even saw an Abraham Lincoln or two in that metaverse. So I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't seem like to me that it's very realistic or particularly healthy. But out there in the metaverse, I just hope people keep their pants on, because I tried playing the metaverse and there was a lot of scantily clad avatars in the metaverse, and honestly, it may lead to a new addiction crisis.
We don't even know what's happening today. There's so many technological transformations just today, many of which have world-shaping consequences. God only knows where we're going to be by the time of the next president.
Elon Musk is going to Mars in 2 years.
Election, but
we're gonna have flying cars by then. I don't think shit's happening in the next fucking year. In terms of technology, what's gonna happen in a fucking year? Nothing.
It certainly does seem to me the case that the Democrats are going to lose big in the fall, and so that's what we'll focus on for the time being.
So if you enjoyed this little short
I've done 7 tour lectures so far, and with an average audience size of about 2,500, and they're going great. They're unbelievably positive. Almost everybody dresses up, which I think is really cool.
Really?
Yeah, well, when I went out on tour in 2018, before I went out, I thought I wanted to do this like 100% right, or at least as close to that as I could manage. So I went out and bought some expensive suits, and I spent way more money on, this is one of them actually.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you. Way more money than I ever thought I'd spend on clothes, and I really felt quite bad about it. I thought maybe it was an extravagance, but I thought, no way, man, I'm going to see if I can nail this dead on, and I'm going to be speaking to, 100,000 people. I'm going to look as sharp as I possibly can.
Yeah, I'm bored. I'm just bored of him. All right, we're gonna watch the Tamerlane documentary.
The legacy of Genghis Khan influenced Asia for centuries, inspiring minor Khans to become great conquerors, but none made a stronger claim to the great Khan's mantle than Timur. This video will detail the beginning of the life of a man who professed to be restoring the Mongol Empire, but washed away its remnants in a sea of blood. Welcome to our video on the rise of Timur and his war against Toktamish. Thanks to Magellan TV for sponsoring.
Shut the fuck up!
And many of them are available in 4K. If you have Chagatai Khan siding around the Mongol tribe of into the Timur was born into the Turkified Mongol tribe of the Barlas around 1335 near Samarkand, coinciding with the deaths of Ilkhan Abu Sa'id and the Chagatai Khan Tamashirin, leaving both states in anarchy. The Ilkhanate dissolved into
You know what, dude? Come back tomorrow. You're fucking pinging me about shit when I'm already doing something.
Regional powers and puppet khans, while the Chagatai Khanate divided into two regions, the largely nomadic, non-Muslim Mogulistan in the east, where a Chagatai Khan continued to rule, and the mostly sedentary Islamic Transoxania in the west. A Chagatai prince ruled in Transoxania until the use of
people fucking distracting me and bothering me. Get the fuck out of my chat. You're banned. I have to restart it.
Anarchy. The Ilkhanate dissolved into regional powers and puppet khans, while the Chagatai Khanate divided into two regions, the largely nomadic, non-Muslim Mogulistan in the east, where a Chagatai Khan continued to rule, and the mostly sedentary Islamic Transoxania in the west. A Chagatai prince ruled in Transoxania until the usurpation of Kazagan in 1347, a non-Chinggisid of the Negaderi tribe. After Kazagan's murder in 1358, and the expulsion of his son by local emirs, the Chagatai Khan, Tughluq Timur, saw this as a prime time to invade and appoint his son Ilyas as governor. During these attacks, the chief of the Barlas fled before Chagatai armies, and Timur, around 25 years old, convinced Tughluq Timur to appoint him as the new chief. Thus began Timur's rise to power. Raised with a foot in sedentary Perso-Islamic culture and the nomadic Turco-Mongolian world, Timur had the hardiness of a nomadic warrior, but with an eye for Persian culture, allowing him to manipulate both. The Chagatai reoccupation of Transoxania lasted only briefly. With Tughluq Timur's death in 1363, Timur joined Kazagan's grandson, Amir Hussein, to push them back into Mogulistan. During this fighting in the early 1360s, Timur and Hussein's fortunes ebbed and flowed, forcing them at times to be little more.
You know why this is the shittiest video I've ever seen? Because I don't even know how we get... Who's Timur? Where did he come from? What happened? What did I fucking miss? No, we're not. He's already fighting in battles and shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Technology is progressing faster than ever, with groundbreaking new ideas being explored every day. From floating farms to edge computing, here are the 15 most incredible emerging technologies. Number 15, spin launch. There's been a lot of focus in recent years on private space companies and their quest to develop vehicles that can take paying customers into orbit. But the reality is that, especially with the pollution that traditional spaceflight creates, these advances won't make a difference to people other than billionaires for quite some time. There is, however, a lesser-known company that's making huge strides at making space technologies far cheaper, greener, and easier to access. It's just that their focus is on satellites and not on human travel. Known as spin launch, the concept is actually rather simple, although it is, of course, extremely complicated to put into practice. Founded in 2014 and funded by large companies such as Airbus and Google, they are building a kinetic energy launch system to insert satellites into orbit instead of relying on chemical rockets. To do this, they have designed a vacuum-sealed centrifuge that will spin objects around before releasing them into space at speeds of up to 5,000 miles per hour, and once they reach a suborbital height, a traditional rocket booster can take over. This concept significantly reduces the amount of fuel that needs to be burned, and to make it even better, all of the energy used to power...
Can you launch people out of this? Because if you think about it, space travel would be a lot easier if you could just cannonball someone to the moon. Honestly. If you could just be like, woo! Go right out of there, land on the moon. That'd be a lot easier.
The centrifuge is derived from green sources, such as solar and wind. The company is...
Think about it.
Prove that most traditional satellite components are able to withstand the 10,000 Gs that they'll be subjected to during a launch, and even projects that it will cost less than $500,000 to send one into space, as opposed to the tens of millions it currently does. With the test version already built and conducting launches, they hope the full-size device will be ready within a few years, and this could permanently revolutionize satellite launches. Number 14, graphene. Industry is continually looking for new materials to offer stronger and more reliable performance, but the next game-changing development is expected to be...
Alright guys, I get it. I get it. You know, today's just not the day, apparently. It's just not the day. Started too late. Hopefully tomorrow. And if it keeps up, I might just maybe take a break to work on my shit, upgrade my shit, because this is just not it. You know what I mean? Thank you, August. Appreciate you, but it's like I guess I don't have anything for you. If you don't want to watch this shit, I don't fucking have anything for you, right? Like people are going to say, "Yeah, I want to watch this," but how many? 10 people? Clearly everyone's just fucking leaving. You got something better to do than just go do that. I'm going to go to the gym and watch my TV show and just do my thing, you know? Clearly people don't want to chill here, watch this fucking content. Okay. You know what? He goes, Parenti talks. We're not gonna fucking watch Michael Parenti here. Just shut the fuck up, dude. Just literally shut the fuck up. You know? 340 people mean nothing to you? Now when my average is 600, my average 600 and there's 340 people, it tells me people don't like this content, right? I don't have anything for you. I don't have any debates right now. I guess I don't have the shit you're looking for. It's as simple as that, you know? Don't fucking give me advice. Don't fucking give me advice. Stop fucking trying to give me advice. about what to do. If you know, then you go stream. Go stream on your own fucking channel and you do that. I guess tonight's just not the night, right? We'll see if this keeps up, but tonight's not the fucking night. It's just not. It's just not the night. Yesterday was pretty good, actually. Yesterday was, and that's what pisses me the fuck off. Because yesterday was doing great. Yesterday was great. I was finally starting to fucking pick up again, and then that shit had to fucking happen. And you know what? You want to know what? I know who the Reddit mod is. I actually know who the Reddit mod is that approved that shit. And to this day, they haven't fucking stepped forward. And I know who they are. And that shit is just so fucked up, you know? They haven't even fucking stepped forward. They don't even know how much damage they did doing that shit, you know? At least say sorry. You fucked it. It's like, you fucked up my stream. I was recovering yesterday, doing well. I was in a good state of mind. Because of that shit that happened yesterday and the uncertainty that came after, I couldn't sleep. I woke up at 6 p.m. today. I had to start my stream at 9. I wasn't in a good fucking mentality. And guess what? My views are 100 viewers down again now, right? Don't upset. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Like, yesterday was fine. It was perfect. It was doing well, right? Where I was climbing back up, back on my fucking grind. And that shit, that one small fucking thing, fucked it all up. And set me back. God knows by how much, you know? And one day does fucking matter. And the person who's that Reddit mod, I know who they are. I'm just waiting for them to fucking apologize. For doing that shit. And fucking me over so hard, you know? It's only one, you know? It's like, and ending it this early now is also gonna fuck me up. So it's like, what can I fucking do? I can't end it now. I'm not gonna end it right now. I just can't. Unless it gets drastically low, I literally can't. I have to do this shit for long hours or I'm fucked. Because yesterday I only got to stream for 2 hours. Fucking my growth a lot. With no VOD, by the way. No VOD, 2 hours. Yeah, that fucks my growth a lot. Because one fucking reckless mod fucked up really bad. When there's only one job. And I already told you I banned Vosh. Don't fucking post circle jerk Vosh content in my fucking Reddit. And I literally made that a rule before. I can't fucking believe they haven't stepped up and just admitted what they were doing was at fault. What they were doing was wrong. You know, I was so fucking depressed last night. Because I didn't know it was going to fucking happen. I didn't have the motivation to do anything. I'm trying to fix my stream and update shit and upgrade shit. And I just didn't have the motivation to. It's so fucking devastating when shit like that happens. And this one fucking mod still won't fucking step up and just apologize. And I know who they are. And I actually know who they are. Holy fuck. Yo, Vi, what the fuck? Holy shit. Thank you so much, Vi. Appreciate you so much, man. Holy fuck, bro. Make me feel bad, man. He bought us a table, man. Those are not cheap, by the way. He dropped thousands for us. Bro, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, man. Real one. Yeah, man. Fuck the opposition. For real, fuck the opposition. Um, oh man. I don't want to watch iDubbbz version because iDubbbz is fake as fuck. I don't like iDubbbz. I don't trust that guy. It's like as simple as that. Damn. No, I didn't cover the Mali shit, so Solas. I'm not fucking covering the Mali shit at fucking 1 a.m. with 300 viewers. So shut the fuck up about it. And didn't I tell you this before? And you're bothering me about it again. You literally keep asking me the same shit. Just shut the fuck up. Why don't you use fucking common sense? You don't cover the news at 1 a.m. at night. iDubbbz version covers both sides of it. Somehow I don't buy that. I don't fucking buy that. Alright, fine. Is it TOS? iDubbbz, Sam High. Is there any TOS in it?
Hey, it's me.
Any TOS at all? I don't care what it is specific time. Is there one F word you gotta censor? Where? Where do I have to censor it? Don't suggest me to react to content and then just become radio silent. Okay, I guess we're not gonna watch it then. I guess we're not gonna fucking watch it. Fuck it, you know? There you go. We're not gonna watch it. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.